Sports Hub. Goes to the backhand and scores! Two-hand slam! Boston's home for sports. I love this team. 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The NHL last night announced its playoff schedule for its first round of the postseason, and for the Bruins, that means a Game 1 in Buffalo Sunday night at 7:30. Game 2 is on Tuesday, with the next two at TD Garden on Thursday night and on Sunday afternoon. GM Don Sweeney met the media yesterday and said that even though his team didn't have a captain this season, he had three guys that have led his roster to this point.
The leadership, well debated in terms of how we were going about it. They created a group for themselves. There was an extension that went beyond the obvious leaders that have been here. They were drawing people in throughout this, how they receptive they were to the younger players and the impact that they were to have.
In other team news, rookie first-round draft pick James Hagan skated on the third line at practice yesterday. Celtics begin their postseason on Sunday, but it'll be at home at 1 p.m. against Philadelphia. Joel Embiid is not expected to play during at least the early part of this series after an emergency appendectomy a little over a week ago. The NBA has accepted the appeals of both Cade Cunningham and Luka Doncic. Both will be eligible for postseason awards despite not playing the required 65 games. Both appeared in 64. The Patriots' Deion Branch will announce a pick on day 2 of the NFL draft, and the Red Sox had last night off after a 3-3 road trip. Ranger Suarez starts tonight in the opener of a 4-game series at Fenway Park against Detroit. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rapid Flow Sewer and Drain Cleaning. Are you an experienced drain cleaning or pipe rehab tech? Rapid Flow is hiring and part of Local 12 to give you the great retirement and healthcare benefits you need. Call 800-286-FLOW or visit rapidflowinc.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Sergeant at Arms,
Too much, maybe?
I love feet.
Okay.
10-4, good buddy. Thank you.
Oh.
Madam Secretary, could you read back the notes? At 14:05, Tony Maserati said, I love feet.
Yeah.
And the room nodded. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Where do we move from here? The next topic will be foot jobs. Interesting.
Let me clear the schedule for the rest of the day.
Let me pet my chin when I go over this. It's a getaway day for the three of us. Good timing as the Celtics and Bruins start their playoffs, and the first round of the NFL draft is Thursday night. But, and so again, I can see why Rick, the program director, would be annoyed. But it is school break. And we are slaves as of now. I mean, this will change in the coming years, but as of now, to the school calendar. Now, I might switch with my wife next year to 1 year to take my daughter in February, because that does not interfere with much. I mean, I'm still not broadcasting from the marathon, but nonetheless, I will. I might not take the entire week off.
Hardy and I had a lovely time the year we did it together.
It's just very inconvenient. It's not the marathon, and I understand the value of being there, but it seems rather inconvenient. when you're not running in it to get down there, do a whole show. But Danny Roach is almost, it's better that Danny Roach is there.
Well, I was there with Dan last year, and yeah, he's great for it. 6 a.m. Monday, outdoor broadcast, 40 degrees at that time.
I think that's actually colder than what we had.
Did they give you a space heater?
No. You're under a tent, but the front of it is exposed. You know what I'm talking about. And if you want to warm up, there's kind of a building off to your right, about 20 yards away you can walk into.
They could give you a space heater. I don't think, but there's no promotion staff anymore, so maybe that's a little difficult.
It's problematic.
Do you guys set up your own tent?
Yeah, we had to get there like at midnight, start plugging stuff in. Well, Dennis had everything, plugged in, ready to
And
go.
the thing about it is there's no hotel around there, right?
No. Oh no, it doesn't even really matter. I did that the first year. I stayed in a hotel, a really swanky joint in Milford.
That's right.
That I went back for the second year. Said no, I will not be doing that. It took like 40 minutes to drive out there at that time of the morning. So no, it made
it's
more
not
sense.
chaos in Hopkinton.
Not at 5 a.m. because we had to meet at a place at 5 in order to, because you can't drive up to the broadcast and park. You got to meet a few miles away.
Yeah.
And then be driven over there. So
getting out of there was fun. That was great.
Getting out is an issue.
Yeah.
Because that's when stuff is really blocked off. You got to take this.
There are 75 roads that are closed and only one road that's open.
Yeah, this serpentine route to get back to where your car is only like a couple miles away from where you parked, but it was easy to drive in at that point, and then once the race starts, no, you can't go back there. What do you want to go back there for?
You can understand the road closures and stuff, but it's even a pain in the ass if you live anywhere near the marathon route.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how long that goes for. Because you'll see the wheelchair racers, they finish that thing in like 45 minutes. They're flying.
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's always that false sense of things are ending. Like, okay, well, the wheelchair people athletes have finished the race and that
the runners will be along soon, and after a couple hours, it'll all be done.
Right. And then that's not the case at all.
Nope.
That is not the case at all. It goes well into the evening.
Yeah, you and I have that problem of a main road right near where we live being closed, making getting home problematic.
Well, if I
Use
take
that word again,
the problem is that if you got to take 95 home, and then it was worse in Brighton. But if you take 95 home, you don't have to obviously go by Commonwealth Avenue. But the thing is that no one else can go take Commonwealth Avenue either. So 95 and Route 9, even at 11 in the morning, are jammed. So that's no fun. But where are you going, John? I mean, Hardy's going to Naples. I know that. I'm going to the Bahamas.
Yes, I'm going all the way to New York City to see my father and then to see the in-laws for a few days and then coming home.
And they're in suburban Philadelphia?
Yes, they are.
Are they on the Pennsylvania side or the New Jersey side?
The Pennsylvania side.
Oh, well. And what will you be doing at your in-laws' house?
Not a whole heck of a lot from what I've been told.
Whole family?
What's that?
The whole family?
All four of us. Yeah, we're going to be there. Yeah, all four of us.
Now,
heading out
why?
there.
Why?
Why would I take my kids to see my in-laws?
Yeah, like why wouldn't they come here?
Oh, a good question. I can't
No,
answer
I'm not
that.
saying why would you see your in-laws. I'm saying
No. An excellent question. I don't have a good answer for that.
because New York City is kids, like, as much as I say why are you taking your kids to Paris, New York City, your kids love it. There's like it's so much
there's
to
tons
do.
to do. Yes.
So and that's a no-brainer. But suburban Philadelphia, I have experienced on many occasions as I was married to a woman from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I got to tell you, a bit of a nightmare. Nothing. Not a place that you want to be. Now, Philadelphia is a fine city.
It is. It
But
is.
there's only so much. It's not New York City, where just by nature of being in it, there's distractions galore. Like Philadelphia, there's certain sections that are cool, but are they cool for your kids?
No.
I remember the
Really?
time that I told my, I might have been married, and I went to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I hadn't gone, obviously, before I was engaged. I would refuse to go. But then I got there, as I could not stand the woman that lived there, my former mother-in-law, who I despise. I went and I just went, I want to go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and not just for the Rocky Stairs. I figured that since we have time, we didn't have kids. I said, since we have time, I would just like to say that I went into it and saw it. Like, it's a good way to kill the day. It's a nice cultural thing to do. And I felt that was very mature of me. And so my wife or my fiance at the time said, Mom, we're going to go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art. She called before we got to Philadelphia. And then my mother-in-law said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll work it out." And then so we got to Philadelphia, and my mother-in-law said, "We will not be going to the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I want to see the bodies exhibit at a totally other location," which is really like the Philadelphia Museum of Art if you think about it. It's dead bodies positioned in athletic ways.
Yeah.
So that was it was the same thing. And I do appreciate it, too, since we were in town for 3 days, that we do the thing that she wanted to do, even though she didn't have to come anywhere. I did appreciate that. And I also appreciated just going with it and not fighting back. Because we could have, it's not like we needed passes to get into the museum. I think you could show up on like a Thursday afternoon and get into the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It wasn't some like Picasso retrospective or something. I just literally was looking for anything to do. But then, and this is a pretty good measure of the relationship, she just went, no, we'll go to the bodies exhibit. And then so, I mean, I couldn't have been married. It's because I was just like, okay. And then we went to bodies, and it was just gross and stupid. and then that was the whole thing. And it wasn't anywhere near the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It wasn't like it was in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It was nowhere near there.
But she lives there. She could have gone to that exhibit at any time.
It's almost like she wanted to exert unneeded control over me. I don't.
It wasn't so much about wanting to see the cadavers as much as it was making you do something.
I don't think you have to be Freud or Jung to really get inside the head of the woman. No, I don't believe she cared at all about seeing the bodies thing. I think that he wants to do something, we're not going to do it. That's the first matter on the agenda. And now I'll find literally anything. She probably opened up the Philadelphia Inquirer and closed her eyes and pointed to an ad, and it was for the stupid bodies thing, and which it wasn't even cool. Like it was just dead bodies. Like, and it was just weird. It wasn't even gross. It was gross is giving it too much credit. It was just like skinless bodies, like positioned in like running form and stuff. To my recollection. I think they showed it like an alcoholic brain. And surprise, surprise, if you've got wet brain, your brain looks different. It was shocking stuff. They showed like lungs that had been like ravaged by smoking.
This is just disgusting on so many levels.
It was more like a thing that they would do at a high school, like to to get you not to smoke.
But it's like interesting in as much work that goes into it. I feel like it's one of those things where after you kind of look at a couple of them for, I don't know, 5 minutes, you kind of get it.
I don't know if bodies was ever considered some kind of cultural high point for society.
But like, you're supposed to spend some time there. I mean,
yes, it's an event that you get passes for and buy tickets for, and then it's not like it's a show or an installation or whatever you would call it that you get passes for, you buy. And yes, you were supposed to spend like an hour or so.
I don't know. I don't
meandering around the bodies.
Yeah, I don't think I could kill that much time.
No, it gets old quick.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first thing you go, okay, I've never seen something like this before, and then they go, but there's more.
Have you ever seen one playing poker? Oh no, I didn't.
Well, they had dead dogs playing poker, so it was a bit of whimsy. Cool. It was a bit of whimsy thrown in for that.
Fun.
So yes,
Now, John, will you be flying or driving?
Driving.
Of course.
yeah, there
Driving.
you go, Johnny.
No, we're driving. We're absolutely driving. So, yep. It's going to be a lot of fun.
When do you leave?
We leave tomorrow morning, late tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you don't want to get up early to drive into Manhattan.
We're going to get there about 2-ish, something like
Where
that.
are you parking?
Actually, it's
Oh, boy.
it's a whole thing. We're
Oh, of
parking.
course it is.
Oh, of course. We're parking in New Jersey and taking the train to Penn Station.
That's actually not stupid. Well, what you?
Thank you.
Well, no,
appreciate
it's
that.
not stupid.
Yeah.
It's better than parking in the city. What you should have done, John, you
Yes.
stupid idiot,
Yes.
is you should have taken a plane or the Acela to Manhattan, then spent your time in Manhattan, then gone home. No, then taken the train to Philadelphia and then flown back from Philadelphia. Kaboom.
What?
And therefore, you're not parking anywhere. And then even if you had to rent a car in Philadelphia, and I'm telling you, a flight from one-way ticket for 4 people from Philadelphia to Boston's not going to bankrupt you. Even though the gas prices are high.
Yeah,
it's not going to bankrupt you.
That airport's
Oh, it's horrible.
awful.
Oh, no, it's not a good experience.
No. The Philadelphia airport, for those of you who haven't tried it, is terrible.
Well, the problem they say with the Philadelphia airport is it's between all the other airports.
Right.
Like, it's between all the New York airports. It's between the D.C. airports and the Baltimore airport. Like, it's just in a flight path that's very hard to navigate. That's what I've been told.
Have I mentioned the wedding that I'm supposed to attend this summer?
You have.
And where it is?
Off air.
Where is it?
You have not said it on air.
I can't tell you the exact city. I know that it is Marcy's nephew, and it is somewhere near the Ozarks, Lake of the Ozarks. And apparently the easiest place to fly into to get there would be Branson, Missouri. and this
This has success written all over it.
well, originally the plan was to go to Omaha, spend some time there. And the way Marcy first pitched it to me, she's like, well, if it's just me and the kids, then we'll probably just, go to the wedding and then come back. But if you're going, then I'm thinking, that we'll go to Omaha first and then drive to, where the Lake of the Ozarks or someplace near there.
How long a
and
drive
then,
is that?
And then maybe spend like a week there at the Lake of the Ozarks. And I said, you realize we live in Massachusetts and that we have an ocean next to us. And the last thing you want to do during the summertime in Massachusetts is drive to a landlocked state and go to a lake where I'm pretty sure the chief financial drivers there are mild tourism and methamphetamine. I don't think this is something where we would want to spend a week's vacation there.
Are you, how do you want to be involuntarily sodomized while you were down there?
Right.
When was the last time you were out to Nebraska to visit the family there?
It's been a really long time.
When would be the last time you were in Nebraska if you had in-laws there?
Good point.
Nice people. I get along with all of them. They're great. And actually being in Omaha is not bad. You go downtown and, the College World Series is going on. There's
stuff to do in Omaha, Nebraska?
There's stuff to do, but we're not even going to Omaha. If we were going to Omaha, I'd be much more on board with this. Now, you still can't fly direct there. You can't fly direct from Boston to Omaha.
Okay.
Like, stop it. No.
Okay.
No, you're going at minimum through Chicago to get there. This place, and normally I'd be all over it. I'm like, I'm getting a little anxiety here. We got to book flights. I haven't even looked. And Marcy hasn't booked them either. And it's just hanging there.
How big an airport does Branson, Missouri have?
Well, I mean, you think of it's a lot of private planes and stuff going in there because they want to go to Yakov Smirnoff's Comedy Hut. I mean, you got to figure it's like all the people off season from the Hamptons are flying in. So I would imagine small aircraft, but expensive. G4s and things of that nature, if that's the kind of airplane.
Yeah, I think probably more along, our budget. We probably fly commercially, and then we would try and pick up like a Jeff Dunham shuttle, which will take you to his puppet theater, and then from there you kind of branch out. But at least that gets you into the hub.
Yeah, you'll end up with a rash But don't worry, they will have medicine when you get home to fix it. Because I can tell you, Pigeon Forge.
They have salves there, and they're like roadside salve stands
I would
for
imagine.
various skin conditions.
Yes, they make them they make them out of turpentine and homemade things they find around the house. But because I've been to Pigeon Forge. Pigeon Forge is so bad that we had a hotel, and I'm like, I'm not staying here. Like, we're going home. And that you want to talk about my parents being confused. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not staying here. Like, it's only an hour and a half drive. I'm like, I'll drive. Like, I'm not staying here. But Pigeon Forge is at least somewhat near a mid-sized city. Branson, Missouri is its own entity,
Yeah.
which would frighten me very, very much.
I don't know how it's the closest major city is Springfield, and maybe that's where you fly into. But the original plan to go to Omaha, and then I just looked it up again and said, and then from Omaha drive down to where this is happening. That's 6 hours, and you're driving, well, you get to drive through Kansas City, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. So, and for how well do you know the people getting married?
Pretty well.
When was the last time you've seen them?
10 years ago.
Yeah, you don't know them that well. Yeah, I don't know if you need to go.
15 years ago.
If you're getting married in the middle of nowhere, I don't think that you're required to go. Like, we got married in Grand Bahama Island because there was an airline called AirTran, and our station had a deal with AirTran that you could fly for free, and that's in first class. But it was in, so everyone at my station could fly for free. So we invited something like 120 people, and 118 came. But my expectation was that like 90 people would come or 80 people would come because it was a destination wedding. I think that, and at least people wanted to go to the Bahamas.
Right.
Even though it was in July, people wanted to go to the Bahamas. So if you're getting married somewhere despicable and tough to get to, I don't know if that, and I'm sure it's a nice place and I'm sure it's on the water, blah, blah, blah. They're not listening. I'm telling you that they have to know that it's difficult for people that don't live around there to get to that wedding. And it's asking an awful lot if you haven't seen someone in 10 years for them to come to the wedding. And then if you're them, you have to think of, is this going to change my enjoyment of the experience if so-and-so and so-and-so aren't here? Sure, we needed to invite them, and it would be great if they came, but is it going to in any way be a topic of discussion for the bride and groom during the course of the wedding that you are not there?
And the answer is almost always no. Now, if you're talking about like immediate family members.
No. Bride and groom are all that matter.
Yeah. No. I'm saying if the bride and groom's immediate family members are the ones that are not there.
Yes,
but if you're talking just relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, yeah, it's all. The answer is no. No, it's not going to change their enjoyment level. No.
I mean, I don't even know. My cousins didn't come to my. I had one cousin come to my wedding. I'm sure I invited all of them that weren't dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you also understand, Marcy's going, and the kids are going. It's really a question of whether or not I'm going.
Do your kids want to go?
Sure.
Do they like amusement parks? I'm online here. ExploreBranson.com.
I'm trying my best to help you.
I know.
And I'm giving you really good arguments.
Yeah.
I'm giving you arguments you could go right to your wife with.
I mean, we don't have any family around here, so this is a chance for them to, connect with family.
I get it, and I can.
So they do want to go.
Okay. Oh, you got good kids. I don't know if that would be the case for me. My kids love going to my parents' house, but my parents moved to a beautiful lakefront environment. And so you walk out their back door and you're on jet skis and boats and screwing around. Like, if my parents still lived in Farmington Hills, My kids would not want to go to my parents' house. Or at least it set the precedent for wanting to go there. And then my kids got very close to my parents. So, but I think some of that is because it was fun to go to their house. So, like, if they still lived in Farmington Hills and we're going there and it's like, what do you want to do? Go to Taco Bell or Burger King? Or I can drive you into Detroit, which we enjoy Detroit. But it's not the same thing as walk outside and get on a jet ski or walk outside and kneeboard because wakeboarding's too difficult. Let's be honest. All right, look. I don't think you should go. I'm on your side. That's asking a lot. Not from your wife, but from the people getting married. It's a little rude. That's all.
Yeah, I don't think of it as rude. I don't think of it as, anything. I don't even really feel obligated other than there's a family trip happening and, should I be involved with that?
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe they come here. Maybe you get a.
Amen.
Well, we'll pay for the wedding.
Yeah.
But we want you to have it in Boston.
Let me ask this, and then we're going to break in 1 second. Would you rather, because you have to pay to go to this wedding, go to this wedding, you have your family go to this wedding, or you guys rent a place on the Cape over the course of the summer and invite the couple to the Cape?
Oh, it's the Cape.
Yeah.
Easily.
So maybe your wedding gift to them is a trip to the Cape.
Would you rather go to the wedding or do the marathon broadcast on Monday morning?
Oh,
We'll do the marathon broadcast.
You've never done it.
I know that ends.
That's close.
I know that there's a start time and an end time, and then that's it. Yeah. No. I've done.
Hey, we ordered pizza. The band's going to play for another hour. Oh, no.
No, and then you have to get there, and I'm sure it's easy. And anytime you have a connection, and I can speak to someone who goes to Knoxville 3 times a year, that when you have a connection going into a small airport, any variance on your connecting flight, the originating flight, throws everything off, and there's
by a day
or 2.
Yeah.
So like that's why I only fly through Atlanta or Detroit to go to Knoxville, because if I have to, I'll fly into Nashville, because like I can't get on a Knoxville flight because they're packed. They're like 80-seat planes. Yeah. And there's no seats. They book out like a month in advance because there's no flights to Knoxville. So if I get stuck in Atlanta or Detroit, it's not like I'm stuck. It's like I can maneuver around. I know how to operate. If you drop me in one of those cities for a week, I'm not like hopeless, like don't know what to do. I have people to lean on. I could spend 2 weeks there and be fine. So and they happen to be major hubs. So, yeah, you talk to me. I know what I'm doing. If you want to talk about going to hick towns, you look no further than me. I worked in Cumming, Georgia, and my parents live in East Tennessee. I'll fill you in. I'll tell you how to get out of stuff too. I had horrible in-laws. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Touch.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Artie. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Oh, you want me to go now?
Well, I got
You want me to
nothing.
go?
I mean, yeah, it's your segment, baby. Do you want me to do it? Do you have to get in here so early so you can write everything down? I just had a flashback.
Come on. What are we doing?
I'm sorry. I got defensive.
Out of nowhere, Bubby just conjures up all these images and he gets angry. It's amazing.
Don Sweeney speaking yesterday as we are 2 days away from the start of the Bruins postseason. He's putting a lot of expectations on this team.
I just don't like the fact that you set yourself up to say, well, we exceeded, because I don't want, they can pat themselves, but I want them focused on the fact that we expected to be competitive, and we said at the deadline this team had earned the right to see this thing through, and we felt we were a playoff team.
Okay, so not really putting expectations on it, but
he farted. Just so you know, Adam's dismissing it, even though Ryan was the one who pulled it out.
Did you listen to it?
I did. And look, it's not a fart court situation, but I am going to play it and let the audience decide.
Okay,
that's fine.
The audience has been very vocal that he farted.
I scrubbed through to the 21:38 mark and listened to it, and I did not feel it warranted further investigation.
It's a subtle. Well, first of all, there's nothing else happened last night. So
are you kidding?
Yes, I'm not. No, I'm certainly not kidding. So if you go down further in your notes, there's nothing. But I will tell you that it's certainly worth. If the audience says that Sweeney farted, he's a local GM.
You have to open an investigation.
Or just a quick one.
Charges have been filed. You have to open an investigation.
This is not an 8 a.m. 15-minute affair. I'm talking about literally just playing the clip and then moving on. I don't even have to do it right this second. I want the audience to know that we have heard your cries, and I will play it.
Cries for justice.
Right.
And for the evidence to be heard.
Right. I mean, just for it to be acknowledged, and then that will happen. I mean, I don't need Adam telling me. It's a little insulting. Adam's like, Ryan found it. I didn't find it.
Ryan sprinted down here.
I know. See, he learned his lesson. Captain Cash learned how to move.
After I dope slapped him about the golf show enough times this past week.
Yeah, you should hear the two of them. They're
PTSD after that.
They're
Jesus.
like two wild dogs. They're like two junkyard dogs about this golf show. All right, here we go. Here is Sweeney, who talked for 32 minutes or something yesterday. And good for him, and that's nice of him. But poor anyone having to sit there and listen to 32 minutes of him babbling on. It's not exciting. Now, he's done a great job, and he should have some job security here for a little while. But did he fart is the real question, and I will present to you the evidence.
So you wonder when the hiccups and certain things,
So he says hiccup, so he's thinking. You can tell he's thinking.
He's thinking about it.
An involuntary noise coming from his body.
Sonic emissions.
Yes.
May or may not show up due to inexperience, and his...
how could you be? You're an idiot, Adam.
It could be.
How could you? Both of you are idiots. How could you be so sure that's not a fart?
I'm not sure it's not, but it could be.
That's
100 things.
Well, yeah, but that's what makes it. See, if it was, I go. That's just someone put a fart noise in there. It's the subtlety and pop of it. And it might not even be Sweeney, but someone there
I would
farted.
be so much more interested if it were a...
Well, that's an old man. He's not old enough. That's a Biden situation.
Yeah, Sweeney's still in his 50s.
Well, if you want presidential farts, Biden's are a lot of... like...
flaps.
I mean, I've played Biden and Trump farting. And Biden's are like, he doesn't know what's going on. And Trump's are more like... wet. Because you got to figure, very wet.
Yeah, sure.
So you wonder when the hiccups and certain things, may or may not show up due to inexperience. And his.
Oh, come on.
It sounds like someone rapping on a table as much as it sounds like a fart.
Oh, yeah. All the tables that they're sitting at?
What else is in the room?
Chairs and a podium.
Yeah,
there's no tables.
No.
John and I have both been in there on several occasions. There's no.
Were you there
tables.
yesterday?
No, I couldn't make it.
I figured.
No, my dog was sick. Front, back, front, back.
I think you slowing it down is not helping your case.
The job that he's
All
done.
right, I don't know.
Yeah, now you're.
I don't know. I played it. I did what I said I was going to do. I just don't like how flippant you two
Yeah, you
were.
can't be dismissive. You can't be dismissive in a situation like this.
I was dismissive. I dismissed it. I dismissed the case.
I just like to go
That's
on record.
fine.
I did not dismiss it. I was just
There's
clarifying
beyond a
that-
shadow of a doubt, you're convinced.
The audio.
The thing was, it wasn't worth playing. And if it was the day after a game 7, certainly it's not worth playing. But on a day that no one played, that's worth investigating at 6:30. Look, I didn't say let's make an 8 o'clock out of it and let's explore it and make production around it and stuff. I just simply wanted the clip.
I agree with you.
Perhaps I view my time as being a little more precious, and now we don't have as much time to listen to Dan Roach ask a question of Charlie McAvoy.
Do you dream of the gold medal and a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, that'd be
No, Dan, I don't. Now that I have the gold medal, I'm pretty much disinterested in anything else until the next Olympics. Thank you for your time.
Do you dream of the gold medal and a Stanley Cup?
Dan, you're listening. What is that? What's that question? And the thing is, Dan's
But
smart.
you can see him as he's asking. He's smiling and nodding his head. Do you dream of a gold medal and Stanley Cup and getting to say, now I'm going to Disney World? Huh?
Like, what's
Do you?
the pull quote from that? Like, what's the angle on that? Like, what
audio are you trying to get out of that you can use?
Right, and like, because I get like Dan's job's not to like gotcha these guys, but like, is the idea that you ask that question and then you go, we asked Charlie about the chance of a gold medal in the Stanley Cup, and then you play a clip of him saying that would be great? Because that doesn't sound overly satisfying.
Well, let's hear what Charlie said. Maybe it will be great and satisfying.
Do you dream of the gold medal and a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a year. Yeah, absolutely. That is the dream. That's why we play the game. February, what happened was incredible. I'm so happy still what we accomplished and, the chance that we have in front of us, this team to, what we've done collectively to get back to the playoffs. Yeah, of course I've thought of that, what it would be like to accomplish all that.
I should hope so. You're getting paid to play for the Bruins. I could care less about your gold medal.
He said it'd be a hell of a year and that he would be happy. I didn't know that until Dan asked.
Wouldn't that be funny? You'd be almost being too much of a dick to Dan because he's such a nice guy. But if you were like, do you want to win the gold medal in the Stanley Cup? And you just be like, no. What the hell kind of question is that?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah, what do I care? All right, try hard
Lord
loser.
Stanley.
Yeah, I want to dance around with the stupid cup. For what? I got a gold medal, and that's worth 10 times more. Gold's bigger, better. You don't even get to keep the Stanley Cup. I got this medal forever. Screw the Bruins. I don't even need the money. All right. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we will maybe, I don't know, some non-news in the NBA getting talk based on the lack of action.
Oh, yeah. Well, you wouldn't know his non-news by the amount of coverage it's getting.
It's really of no concern to anyone but the two people involved. But nonetheless, we will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins will open up their first-round playoff series with the Sabres in Buffalo Sunday night.
like some have no control. I'd rather let her laughter and tally if I go. Canoeing up the river or out into the hole. You just know we're not, so not in a roll. Some lovey-dovey,
We are Toucher and Hardy. Bob, go ahead.
That is 100% a fart. If you listen to it, he holds his breath before he farts. Sometimes you got to give it a little force to get it out, and he does that.
All right, let's see here. This is the last time, Bob. I will indulge you. Here we go.
So you wonder when the hiccups and certain things, may or may not show up due to inexperience. And the job that he's done, really.
Yeah. Yep.
Bob.
Yep.
Let's just be honest, Bob. You and I have to agree that the dismissiveness of Hardy in Adam 12 was not warranted, correct?
That is 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you were ready to dismiss this with prejudice, Hardy. I don't see how you can do that.
Yeah, you're right, John. I was.
Huh.
I didn't feel it was worthy of the court's time.
He seems angry that we've entered into this discussion.
He doesn't like to be.
No.
He doesn't like to be told that that people are questioning his judgment. That's all.
Huh?
Who cares?
I think for anyone to be able to hear that and definitively say it was a fart, I think you're lying to yourself. I think
that's the dance.
I think you want it to be a fart so much that it is clouding your judgment.
It's like good jazz.
You can't definitively say it's not.
Yeah, man. What do you know? You God?
See?
The NBA.
You're not God.
Yeah.
The NBA has finally brought justice to two individuals. And this is something that we are all wringing our hands over and losing sleep over.
This, by the way, this was the lead story this morning on ESPN Radio.
Oh, good.
Luka Doncic and Cade Cunningham will get their awards. The NBA and Players Union ruled in favor of the Lakers' Luka Doncic and the Pistons' Cade Cunningham on their challenge to the rule that players must play 65 games in order to qualify for postseason awards. Both fell one game short. Remember, Doncic missed 2 games in December because of the birth of his child, and then Cunningham had a collapsed lung, which caused him to miss some time as well.
And so unless you're a player who has it in their contract that you get a bonus for being all NBA, this is of concern to Cade Cunningham, Luka Doncic, and 2 other players.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards.
Well, no. But just with those two, the 2 guys that they would get off
Right.
an all NBA team.
Right.
So it's of concern to no one. Like, I have loosely followed the Pistons this season. I tried to get into it, and then it didn't really click. But I can tell you that I lost no sleep over Cade Cunningham being ineligible for All NBA. I don't even know why it's particularly worthy of the news. This is the only reason that we're bringing it up, is that I don't even know why it's worthy of news. It seems like a negotiation. Well, it is a negotiation. There was an arbitrator that ruled on it that is between 2 parties and is of no consequence to the viewing public. It just seems like an asinine thing to pretend to care about.
And also kind of asinine to have a rule in place, 65 games, but then to say, oh, no, not really. Oh, I didn't know you missed a couple of games because of the birth of your child. Oh, I didn't know you were just 1 game short.
But that's
now we can walk it back.
But that's for the NBA PA and the NBA. Like, that's not a fan issue. Like, it's like arguing over, Jimmy Fallon's negotiation with NBC. Like who cares? Or someone trying to get a role in a movie and they don't get it. Like, I don't. It's not even that, because then you get to see the movie. It's just. It's or Jimmy Fallon arguing over a ratings bonus, basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care if Jimmy Fallon gets his ratings bonus. I mean, I hope he doesn't.
They have a false sense of how much the fans care about the MVP. Now, it gets talked about leading up to it, but it's like any other MVP. Once it's decided, who cares?
Well, neither of them are going to win MVP. It's for all NBA. And so they're not going to win MVP. They're not. Doncic and Cunningham. They're not winning the MVP they're not coming in the top 2, certainly. And I would guess, John, maybe not top 3.
Yeah,
They're
it's-
down
it's-
ballot votes.
Yeah, Doncic and Cunningham are 3 and 4. I
Sure.
would think. And
Okay.
Jaylen
I guess
Brown will
for,
be
for
fifth.
any postseason awards. I mean, it's something that gets talked about leading up to it, sometimes like years later, but it doesn't matter.
Well, no,
to the
yeah,
fans.
like-
and specifically, Fred, to your point, I mean, they really don't care if you hit your benchmarks for your contract. Who cares?
Right. It's sometimes interesting, like the last game in a meeting, the last game between two NFL teams where it's meaningless, where there's a guy with a marker where they're feeding him, like he's like one reception away from like a record. If it's a game you have to watch, it adds like a little bit of intrigue to something that's pretty much useless.
Right.
I'll take you back 2 years to the Jets-Patriots season finale. That was like a 16-13 slog. But at a certain point, I said, I don't know why. I went to a bar with friends because they had every game on TV to watch it. And there was a certain point during the game, I'm like, I wonder if anyone here or anywhere else is actually watching this. It's not for a draft pick. It's not for anything. It's just
if anyone is watching this for entertainment purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this would be fun.
Oh, that was 3 years ago.
Let's sit down. This is good.
3 years ago. The last Belichick year.
Very quickly here before we wrap up, there's something going on with the Tiger Woods case in Florida.
In that newly filed motion, Woods' attorneys argue he has a right to privacy when it comes to his prescription records. They also ask for a hearing to determine if prosecutors should be allowed to obtain Woods' records at Lewis Pharmacy on Palm Beach. As we told you a few weeks ago, prosecutors were
cad. Lewis is loose-lipped. You get in there and you start shooting the breeze.
She seems kind of odd.
Tiger, how about this? You don't have to go for any of this stuff. What do you want to charge me with? Done. I'll take it. I plead guilty.
Yeah, I'm not wild if I'm Tiger about them getting access to my medical records. I don't.
And to that, I would say, if I can stay out of jail, that would be great.
No. But I just think as a citizen that if you get a DUI,
Oh, no, I don't want
that. I don't think that gives them the right to start like poking around your medical stuff.
And I don't think it does either, but they might get it. And if you don't want it out there, this is, after 3 of these things now, this is where you say, okay, all right, I'll take it. I'll take the punishment. Just don't go digging around anymore. Will that stop you? Will that stop you from going after the records?
Yeah, I'm just talking about as a citizen of the country that I'm not overly wild about the idea that like if I get it's a misdemeanor.
How does that even help them prove their case?
Because they can say that they can say like he's getting this like unnecessary like absurd amount of prescription medication, like narcotic, and maybe then they try to make it a bigger deal and like go after the doctors prescribing it to them. I don't know.
If they want to do a more far-reaching investigation, that's fine. But you should have enough based on the evidence of the car being flipped over, and this is the third time it's happened to do whatever you need to do to prosecute.
And every cool doctor now has got to get busted just because their guys are driving.
Poor Lewis.
Like Lewis's Pharmacy, like way to go, Tiger. Like we're not flipping cars in residential neighborhoods, and we're high constantly. Lewis has got a loose hand. If I'm Lewis's Pharmacy, I'm not. See, if it's CVS or Walgreens, I'm not concerned. If I'm Lewis's Pharmacy, maybe I'm a little concerned. It doesn't. Maybe it's a chain in Florida, and I sound like an idiot, but it sounds like it's just some guy's pharmacy.
It's kind of random.
Sounds like you don't hear too many like guys' pharmacy anymore, like
John's drugstore.
Yeah, Saul's drug emporium.
Just of all the places.
Yeah, it just seems a little odd. But it seems like someone might get more medicine than they could at a chain place. But maybe the computer's broken. All right, Bert Breer is here. We will have him on in just a moment.
Touch your
Found out last night when their first-round playoff series will begin. It's in Buffalo at 7:30 on Sunday night. Game 2 Tuesday night, and then games 3 and 4 back at TD Garden Thursday night and Sunday afternoon. This year was not necessarily expected to be a 100-point season, but Don Sweeney's team responded to the pressure.
It doesn't mean it's going to go smoothly. It's not a linear path. As you referenced some teams that, you get stuck there, and the fear of getting stuck there, it's not going to resonate very well in this town. Just turn around and say, well, we're going to be on a 5-year rebuild.
The Bruins were out at practice yesterday. Everyone on the ice, including top draft pick James Higgins, who was the left wing on the third line and appears to have an inside track on a roster spot for the postseason. Celtics begin their playoff run on Sunday. It'll be at home at 1 p.m. against Philadelphia. The NBA has accepted the appeals of both Cade Cunningham and Luka Doncic. Both will now be eligible for the postseason awards. This despite not playing in the required 65 games. Both played in 64. Yahoo Sports reports the Lakers have no expectation they'll have either Luka Doncic or Austin Reeves at any point during their first-round playoff series with Houston. And the Red Sox had last night off. They opened up a 4-game series at Fenway Park against Detroit this evening. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured, not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit catcheslaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Attack for a deep three. Violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
You've been aggravated since we turned the mics on.
I don't know what it is. I don't have time to think about that right now.
Roger and Hardy.
It's ridiculous.
The Sports Hub.
Yeah, guys, real quick, I just want to say I listen to you guys every morning. I respect the heck out of you. I love listening to the show.
Thank you.
Just long story short, I'll be very quick. I was a cop for 8 years in New Hampshire. Laws can vary, so I'm not saying I know everything. But they're going after his medical records to help build their case if it goes to court, which we all know it most likely won't. Because on scene, you need probable cause. It's a much lower threshold. In court, they're going to need beyond a reasonable doubt. And Tiger Woods wasn't drinking. And he didn't do any other like blood tests or urine tests to show that he had drugs in his system. So they basically apply for a search warrant and it has to get approved by a judge. And they just want to show that he takes these drugs daily, which it just helps build their case in court, saying he was on these drugs that he takes every day, and you shouldn't drive when you take X, Y, and Z. That's all I wanted to say on it. I understand you want to be protected as Americans and everything, and so do I. That's why it goes through the system, and a judge needs to approve it and all this. But it is a touchy subject, but that's pretty much why. They don't go up to the doctors. They could care less about that. That's not on the doctors. But that's all I wanted to say, guys. Really appreciate you.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Yeah, I'm not.
That kind of makes sense. Like, if you just wanted to prove, and he didn't submit to any blood test or anything else, and like he said, it wasn't like a roadside, sobriety check because you're not able to smell the pills or anything like that. Mm-hmm. If they could get the information that says, okay, he filled a prescription the day before for 40 hydrocodone or whatever, and we searched his residence and there were 20 of them. You can reasonably assume that he's already taken 20 of these things so far in 2 days afterward, and there you go. He's impaired.
My understanding is that he broke the law by not submitting to the test in Florida. That there's a relatively recent ruling that if you don't submit to the test, that you are guilty of whatever. That's my understanding of it. I mean, the cop would know better than me. I don't have any issue with the cops. Mm-hmm. I don't want Tiger Woods driving around. It seems like it's a misdemeanor DUI, and I don't know, it just seems like a lot to go through to get the guy's medical records, but, I don't want Tiger Woods driving any more than anyone else does. He can do all the pills he wants. I just don't. And I understand how he got addicted to them. He's had 45 surgeries.
Yep.
Almost literally.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine that he's very addicted to opiates. But he's getting, he apparently is in Europe getting a drug that I've been told by many in the community that he has gotten a drug called, it's a hallucinogen that is only available for medical use. It's called Ibogaine. And it is available, a psychedelic that is available and they use for treatment in Europe, which I always think is interesting when they combat a chemical addiction with a chemical. That's like a mind-altering chemical. I always find that interesting. Like a hallucinogen is a very heavy, out-of-mind experience, which seems like
Right.
what
Are
you were going
like plugging
after.
one hole just to have another pop up.
Yeah, it's like I told you, I read or listened to the Matthew Perry book, and at the end of the book, I'm like, this guy was going to die for sure. Like, first of all, that was the case, and second of all, if you give that guy ketamine, all he wants to do, and this isn't just the way his brain works, all he wants to do is get out of his brain.
Right.
Like he just wants that rest, that vacation from himself. And if you give someone a way to disassociate, it's not like they're going to go, wow, I had a really good experience. That was nice. It's going to want to disassociate constantly because that's the goal, is that you want a vacation from yourself. And when you're fighting something with another, like it's not like a SSRI or something like that that just subtly changes things. I mean, this is a monitored psychedelic experience. Like this is supposed to be like a whole scene. Like, like you're really going through it. And so, ketamine's a dissociative drug. So, like, when you take that, it's really serving the same purpose that the other drugs did, just to get you out of yourself.
So you're just going to go down the same road with the new drug that you were stuck on with the old drug.
I just think that, like if you have access to something to get you out of your own mind,
right,
and it's given to you,
it's just a different way to reach the same goal, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And then that becomes, and then once you have access to that, you're going to want that. That's all. All right.
And just very quickly, the LA Times did a story on this last year about ibogaine and how they've already done studies with war veterans, NFL players. Brett Favre reportedly tried it to try and get him over some of the stuff that he was dealing with.
There was a lot of this stuff involved with the Jim Irsay thing. If you guys remember the big Washington Post story where like the treatment he was getting was all of what you're talking about,
I've heard Irsay never got sober.
Right. Well, but they kept
Certainly
treating him.
acted that way.
They kept treating him, and there was like that high end treatment center in Arizona, and then there was, I can't remember the Washington Post story was, and I know you guys talked about it on the air, right? Like it was like one of the most incredible pieces of journalism, I think of sports journalism at least, of the last decade, and it detailed like blow by blow how all of this happened and how what you're talking about was done like at a very high level with him, where they kept treating his addiction with something else that was going to get him addicted, and he never got off of that path.
And I know someone's going to go like ibogaine or whatever is not an addictive substance, and I get it. Like it's not a physically addictive substance, but it's when you have that, like when you're like a Matthew Perry or like a Jim Irsay, like when you have. And I don't know if Tiger Woods just because of the surgeries got addicted to opiates and he's just physically addicted, and it's going to take 8 or 9 months of like tapering to like get off of it. Like that might be the case, but for someone like Matthew Perry, whose goal was, I can't stand to be in my own head, I need to disassociate, I need something that gets me out of my own head. The best way to put it is a vacation for myself, and you give someone access to that. And then go, okay, you got to do it this time, and now you got to wait a week to do it again. They're going to find a way to get it again. And the way they'll justify it to themselves is they'll go, well, the doctor gave it to me, so this is necessary for my recovery, and then they'll just start doing it until they die, which is what happened to Matthew.
It's actually really interesting because I did, you guys remember a few weeks ago when I was in Ann Arbor, and I did the story of the Michigan linebacker. And it was like, I remember talking to people about bipolar disorder. And it was,
wait, can you explain that? I don't know the article.
So I did a big story. There was a Michigan linebacker who basically vanished in November. His name is Ernest Hausman. He was a captain, all Big Ten linebacker. And there's too much to explain here, but like basically he was, both his parents had AIDS. He was born in Africa. And both his parents diagnosed with AIDS. He was one of 22 children, like was adopted over here. So like came over here and, grew up over here and had basically undiagnosed bipolar disorder, thought it was depression when he was in high school. went through all of this, then went back to Africa, about a year ago, and went there to basically drill water wells and or to dig water wells, and like found it as his calling. Then the manic part of him took over, and like thought like, okay, if I fix this, then I can fix the economy over there, and kind of like just got so wound up in everything. And so anyway, it was about a big piece of the story was like I had to learn about like bipolar disorder in writing it. And it's like the way the brain works. And what somebody explained to me was like, so like with bipolar disorder, the thing is like you can medicate it, but the problem is that like the depression's really low, but the manic side is really, really high. And so the reason why it's really hard to medicate people who have it is because they don't like being level. And so their brain is always chasing the manic side. And so like being level, being like a person who doesn't have like a normal like level person,
like a regular baseline,
that's
right?
not good enough for them. And so they're chasing it. And so like it like I learned about like how your brain chases these things, you know what I mean? Like, and so it can be a certain high, it can be an escape, it can be whatever it is. But like it was really interesting reading it because I mean this guy, anybody you can Google Ernest Hausman. This guy disappeared from the Michigan football team during Ohio State week, basically. Went back to Africa, then came back here, decided he was quitting football, was going to enlist in the military, drove 21 hours straight to go to Oregon to enlist in the Air National Guard, flipped his car an hour short of reaching the base. And then basically decided he needed to go get help. And there's way more detail to it than that, but he's going to be in the draft now. And so he's been meeting with teams over the last month. And I was the one who kind of had the story on it because nobody had known what happened. And I'd worked with some of his people. And so in March, I went there and I sat down with him, spent time with him, talked with his family, all of that. And, he went through a pro day and now, we'll see what ends up happening. But it's a crazy story. And it's just sort of you learn different things about the way the brain works. And it's like exactly what you're talking about.
Well, it's funny because if you just look at the way the brain has been studied, it's so far behind any other part. Like if you have a problem with like your colon, they'll like look at your colon.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with your brain, they ask you how you feel.
Yeah.
Like if you have like your colon, you don't go like my
The
stomach hurts.
The anatomy of the brain doesn't lend itself to like digging in there, rooting around, and saying, "Oh, here's the problem
even
with
in
this
football,
valve here."
Yeah,
even in
you
football, like CTE, they can't detect that until after someone's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I've heard people, and I'm sure there's going to be a million therapists that are pissed because I don't know what I'm talking about, which is true. But I've heard people say, like, in the future, they're going to be able to, like, actually not, cut your head open and study your brain, but they're going to be able to scan your brain and be able to more logically or with, credible information that's not just based on the things that you tell them, like actually what's going on, which would be helpful for people. It might solve some problems.
Yeah.
But, they're for what? The entirety of man, there's been a stigma around poking around there. So maybe they'll start. And I guess they are. So there you go. And I mean, it's kind of wild that there's now, if they would have told you in 1992 that you could fly over to Europe and they would give you some strong hallucinogen and to get you off drugs, you would have been like, there's no way a doctor's doing that.
Yeah.
So it might work. But this is where we're at. We're kind of throwing things against the wall. It seems like as a society, we've acknowledged these problems exist now.
Well, it's like the destigmatization of drugs now. Like where, okay, like mushrooms, like the stigma around like mushrooms when, for example, when like we were teenagers was, well, that's kind of a hard drug. Now it's like used for treatment, like, so I think, yeah, that stuff is really, really interesting.
Yes. And it's interesting how little we know, which is the true with a lot of things. And I'm the first to admit I know less than anyone. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. All right. Albert Breer is here. He is very close to Diana Rossini. He can't stop defending her if you look around the internet. It's too much, really. He's doing her a disservice. No, I'm just kidding. But he does know Vrabel, and he knows no Rossini. And we can talk a little bit about that. We can talk about the draft. All kinds of stuff to talk to Bert about in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more touch.
So, all right. Bert Breer is here from MMQB. Bert, well, if you don't know, Sonoma, Arizona. Sedona, thank you. I'm so...
Simona, where's that? That's a place, right?
Yes, I think
Sonoma.
that's
Sonoma's what I'm
store.
thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was thinking Sonoma.
William Sonoma.
Is it a place too, though, isn't it? I thought Sonoma's also a place.
Sure. Who cares? All right. It didn't need to be corrected in
Let's
the first
talk
place.
about that for 10 minutes. We'll
Yeah.
find all the different cities named Sonoma.
I'm not positive it needed to be.
It's a city in California. There you go.
I'm not sure that none of this needed to be done, but nonetheless.
If you had just been able to say Sedona, this could have been avoided.
Again, it all comes down to my fault. But listen, let's say this. In Arizona, there was a very romantic resort, and Mike Vrabel, who's the coach of the New England Patriots, was... there was photos taken of him and Diana Rossini, who was a NFL insider for The Athletic, and they're interlocking fingers. They're sitting in a hot tub, and they were doing this and that. And there were allegations of impropriety on Rossini's part. Both of them are married, but that's of, I guess, little consequence to the public or to The Athletic. You're allowed to have an extramarital affair and keep your job, certainly. And Rossini and Vrabel denied it. Vrabel flippantly denied it, saying it was ludicrous and laughable that people were assuming that, which was not the right thing to say. And it turned out to be true because here we are still talking about it. Now, Diana Rossini had a very defensive resignation letter from The Athletic, which I have my own thoughts on because I know how I would handle it. And I can tell you that, but first, I do not want to influence Albert Breer. I would like you to be candid, Albert. You don't have to give any insider information, but I want you to know, how do you think that she handled the resignation from The Athletic?
I mean, it's actually interesting. I thought about how I left NFL Network, and it involved this show.
Who are you banging?
Wow, just kind of same thing.
Similar circumstances.
That's impressive.
No.
You're gonna out me?
Here's what I'm gonna say. Like I came on this show, if you guys remember. I think both of you guys were here, and I left on my own volition from NFL Network. I had cut off negotiations with them months earlier. Peter had offered me the job. I decided I was going with Peter. So, like, I remember, like, I had heard that someone there had leaked some stuff about me a couple days before I came on the show here, and that was trying to kind of smear me before the announcement was official that I was going to SI. So, you know, I was a little concerned about controlling the message. So I was like, I'm going to talk about what happened and why I left NFL Network one time, and that's it. And everybody I'm not going to sneak around or be off the record. I'm going to just say it, and then it's going to be done with. And I wound up regretting that. And the reason why is because while that was personally satisfying for me to do that, I wound up hurting a lot of people that I really like and that I had worked well with together for 6 years. And my personal satisfaction and the feeling that I got in the moment when I came on with you guys, and I was very honest about everything there, like, I didn't really think about, like, the other people that I was affecting. I say that because I think a lot of times when you're leaving a place, there is a satisfaction that you're seeking against certain people.
I think everybody would have a fantasy of how they would like to leave and what they would say publicly
it's
when
like
they
the Milton
left.
from Office Space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the first thing I thought when I read the letter from Diana. I was like, oh God, I know what this is. She's seeking that satisfaction against everybody who's been talking about her for the last week, and it's just not going to come off the way she thinks it will. And it did. I mean, it came. I mean, look, like, there's no question. It came off as defensive. It came off as over the top, and I don't it didn't really help her in any way. I don't think. I think the right thing to do in that situation, like, you know, again, based on my own experience, is the right thing to do is to thank the people that were good to you through a difficult situation, and you know, not not try to settle every score, because my instinct, it again, that's why, when I saw it, I kind of cringed a little bit, because it's like my instinct is to do the same freaking thing, is to settle every score, and you guys know how I am, so that was my first reaction was God, that probably felt good in the moment, hitting send on that, but it's not gonna
Well, then she's not very smart, because it didn't serve to do anything but make her look like she had sex with him. Because I'll tell you why. If I can tell you exactly what I would have done. If I did not have sex with Mike Vrabel and was not in a romantic relationship with Mike Vrabel,
put all your cards on the table.
I would have said, well, look, it's more than that.
Right.
I would say, I quit. This investigation is horse crap. I want transparency throughout this whole thing. You, these are the facts. I want you to release all the facts and be transparent if you're going to continue this investigation. And then I would go to Vrabel and I would say, I would give him a chance. And then if he didn't come out and set the record straight, I'd start going in on Vrabel. And then I would say, then I could do this, Bert. Then I could go, how dare you, because of this. So we had friends. They all came out. All our friends were out partying and hooking up and doing whatever. Mike and I are married, so we spent the day together innocently. What the hell is the difference between me sitting in a hot tub with Mike Vrabel? What's more innocent, me sitting in a hot tub with Mike Vrabel in the middle of the day, or a reporter sitting at a bar with an owner or a coach at 4 o'clock in the morning doing blow, which I know they've done. So you tell me what's worse. We stayed out of the fray. They were having a wild day together. We run in the same circles. We're around the same age, and that was what's going on. It's the society and this stupid business that has turned this into something unseemly.
Right.
I can tell you this, and the third. I can assure you that's what I would do. If I was a PR person, that's what I would do. There's nothing to save you like the truth. There's no incentive not to tell the truth and not to be like, what the hell? No way. There's no coy manipulation of the media if you didn't do it. It's easily provable. I didn't do it. We weren't there together. This is nonsense. Here are the records from the hotel. And then you can be incredulous about it because the only reason you're saying this is that I'm a woman. You could make that case.
Right.
Again.
Yeah, but the more succinct way of saying it, and what I think you're saying, Fred, is we didn't sleep together. We didn't have sex. We're not having an affair. My employers insist on investigating this further, and I'm not dealing with it anymore. I quit. Now, I don't know why necessarily she would, and that's probably why the statement didn't read that way.
Well,
but
I mean,
if it's that simple, you say, this didn't happen, the end.
Well, she quit because she doesn't want them to make public what they find in the investigation, I would imagine.
Because what are they going to find?
Well,
and I would want everything to be public.
I also would. I mean, it kind of felt to me like, was this a negotiated exit? You know what I mean?
Sure. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this was not was this really a resignation or was it a negotiated exit?
Sure.
And I think that part of it. I mean, look, the other thing, and I would say there are headwinds here for Diana in a situation like this, in that I'm going to call it what it is. The people at the New York Times resent The Athletic. That's a reality, and I think they resent how much money some people at The Athletic make, and I do think that is there was probably and I'm not saying that as a shot at anybody, but I do think that I mean, look, I can understand it too. The New York Times sports department got shut down because of it, So, I think that to some degree there was pressure on the executives there who oversee the whole thing. You better go after them the way you would go after us.
But if you didn't have a romantic relationship with him, and it is true that you were there with your friends, why wouldn't you want that to come out? How does that not serve you?
You would want a full investigation. I mean, and look, the other part of it, of course. has there been a girls' trip since the invention of the camera that didn't that didn't include pictures?
Touche. That's the best point
Well
I've
done.
heard.
That's really good.
That's the best point I've
I
heard.
haven't heard that slant, and you're absolutely right.
Like,
Seriously, there are 85 pictures of martinis at dinner. Oh yeah, same thing.
Yeah, we know everything
Case
they ate.
closed.
Seriously,
Birch just made the best point I've heard in this whole affair.
honest to God, that's a mic drop right there.
I mean,
And it's
How many pictures of little hiking outfits would we have seen?
Oh
by
yeah.
and I do.
you'd have multiple angles of everything. Yeah, so.
There is this also this forced ignorance by some people that talk about this, like Jamel Hill, who was on Below Deck, I will say again, and a lot of fun. She went on twice. She was actually a lot more fun than I thought she'd be.
Yeah.
But she's like, whatever on Rossini, but if they held men to the same standards, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, yeah, but are they having sex? Like that, like you're almost like that's like a deliberate removal from logic. You understand what I'm saying? Like if she didn't have sex with him or hook up with him, then all of this is society's fault. But if she had sex with him, then it's her fault. I mean, that's obvious. If you're covering someone, you can't have a romantic relationship with them because that taints the reporting.
Yeah, there are lines, and what it is like, I'll use the extreme example of like Aaron Hernandez, right? If a woman was involved in a romantic relationship with Aaron Hernandez, and then Aaron Hernandez goes and kills people, what sort of position is that woman in to report honestly on Aaron Hernandez? I think that's the part that I think people need to wrap their heads around is like there's a moral issue with Mike Vrabel,
but that's not the professional issue
with Mike Vrabel. But there's not an ethical issue,
right?
There's an ethical issue for Diana, and that's what she had to deal with, and that's why it was a bigger deal in her world than it was in Mike's world. Now Mike still has to deal with it, and he's not. But I mean, they're two different jobs. They're two very separate things, and so much of what, I mean, the reality is like for all of us in our job, we have to, like the audience has to believe what I'm giving you is the truth as I know it, right? And the truth, and I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you what I know and what I believe to be the truth. And anything that clouds that or gets in the way of that is a problem. And that's where you have to balance your relationships. And I've had to report on people I really like getting fired, getting involved in a car accident. Like I've had to do that, and there are just, the lines are blurry because you have to have relationships with all of these people. And I view all those relationships as 30-year relationships. They're relationships I've got to maintain, just like relationships in my personal life. But, there's also that part of it, which is like, hey, look, dude, if you don't do a good job, or something goes wrong, or you're involved in some scandal, I got to report on that. And so there's that balance where, I think if somebody's going over a certain line, then it becomes like, I can't trust what he or she is giving me as the truth anymore.
And we can give you an example of our own show is that we have had Jenny Dell on many times, and she was the stadium, Fenway in crowd reporter, and she was dating one of the players.
Yeah.
And when she came out that she was dating Will Middlebrooks, we thought it was absolutely ludicrous that people were giving her crap because who cares? And we've talked about her with her on the air. Your job is not to break news or get into the story. You're not your job is to be on TV and make people happy. Well, no, it is.
She's also not covering baseball anymore, which is I think a key element of it.
But she could absolutely be a field reporter in baseball.
So Aaron Andrews, for example, is married to a hockey player, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she's married to a hockey player.
But she covers
reporter. She covers football. Now, if she was covering him in the NHL, then that would be an issue.
If she was a reporter, but if she was the stand
right, and there's
person,
there's nuances to it. Right,
well, it's not a nuance. One's a journalist, and one's a television person, a television personality. If say a person on this who's single on this station besides me, I don't want to use me as an example. You're all just so square with your marriages. But
I think all of us.
All right.
12. There
Yeah,
you go.
so Adam. So Adam has a relationship with a woman. I mean, let's really get nuts. Who wants him?
We're gonna dive in here, huh?
Some woman that's not paid decides that she's going to be with Matt. No, but like if Adam wanted to have
paid
sex,
by the state.
If Adam say he found himself a hot to trot 70-year-old women's basketball coach.
I already like where this is going.
You do. He loves loud pantsuits. He loves them more than anything. But like, if Adam, find me. If I had sex with a WNBA player and I was talking about the WNBA, who cares? Because I'm an entertainer. I'm not breaking stories, and I'm not an insider. I'm an entertainer. So I would think that the standard for me is a lot different than the standard for Diana Rossini.
Yeah.
Just like I think that the standard for Jenny Dell, based on the job she was doing, is a lot different than the standard for Diana Rossini. Because she wasn't a reporter. She was a television personality,
Right.
which is different. Her job was not to get inside of the organization.
No, it was
information.
essentially to
Well, it's
promote
like-
the team.
To promote the team.
If your job is to gather information or shape opinion or that sort of thing, then I think it's important that the audience knows that you're doing it on the level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's important that the audience knows that you're coming from an honest place. And I think that that's at the heart of all of this. You know, that's like, because I think most people would say, well, even if Diana came back into covering the NFL again, she could never cover the Patriots, because it would be, the optics of it would just be like, that would be what the viewer, the reader, the consumer, that'd be all they were thinking about, right? Is, well, that's the girl who was seen in Sedona with the head coach.
And like, wouldn't you, like, unless you thought you had a chance of like spending the rest of your life with the person, there's only 32 guys you can't have sex with, really.
Well,
I mean players, but it's not as bad as a coach.
Assistant coaches, general managers.
All right, I'm sorry to make that. Now you're making the pool huge.
Yeah.
So there's like literally like almost
Thousands of
100
people,
guys,
yeah.
almost 100 people that you can't have sex with. But like the thing is that, you know when you're doing it that you're taking a huge risk, which might be part of the appeal. But you have to know once those pictures are out. All right, I'm screwed. And it's kind of like, it's the same thing as if you got loaded and drove a car and got into an accident. Like, there was a chance you weren't going to get in that accident, but you did, and now you're screwed. That was the whole thing about Tiger saying, I was just on the phone with the president. Like, dude, if you got pulled over and nothing happened, I get you're trying to get out of it. You flipped the car. Now it's time to go, like, all right. Like, it's on me. Like, at a certain point, like when those photos come out, if you were having sex with Vrabel, there has to be that self, like just the being an adult and going like, all right, this is the worst case scenario. I'm screwed. Like, I got to kind of just own it. I'm an adult. And you'd be surprised how forgiving people are when you kind of fall on the sword a little bit.
It's like, once you get, like, it's, are you lying to the public? And then if you get caught lying to the public, are you sticking to, I mean, it's just, you're right. Like, people are pretty forgiving when.
She didn't kill anybody. She had sex with a guy, if she did, which I think she did. But if she had sex with a guy, it's none of our business. But you just, you caught me. It's like a salacious thing. I'm in the media. I'm a national reporter. He's the head coach of a NFL team. Like, stop pretending that, like, you got caught. Like, good. Yeah. Like, if you admit it, what do you think? A period of a year, and then you go on The View, and then, you write a book, and then you get a job. It's like you own it. You just, at a certain point as an adult, you just got to own it. And then you come out and you say, stop pretending.
Yeah.
And then
and she's really good at the job too. And
yeah. We got a break,
okay.
but
right.
We were very late. But she's good at her job and everything else you're saying. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Fred.
You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Dutcher and Hardy.
I guess this country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Up.
It was the greatest when it was on Saturday afternoon.
6 hours. You just sit there, bet on draft picks. It was awesome.
Every year I had a party when I was in Atlanta for the draft, and you would think, it's lame, it's lame, it's lame. It was so fun.
Yeah.
I would get
I loved it when
100 people.
I loved it when I was a kid and it started at noon. And it was,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, now it did get backed up. I think before they changed it to like Friday night, then Thursday night. Like there was a point where they moved it back and it started at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But like it starting at noon was the best. It was so good. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go, and girls would play too. We used to go, have 100 people, but say 25 of them were playing. We used to go drink a pick, which was fun because sometimes the picks come in right away. Sometimes the picks took, what was it at the time, 10 minutes? Or it was
15, right?
It might have been 15 minutes.
15 back then.
So you could nurse it or you could chug it.
Yeah.
And then we had like a thing that seemed low stakes. If someone, until only one person got the pick right, you got to, which with 15 minutes didn't occupy all your time, but you would just write a name down, and until only one person got the name right, you would get all the money. And so it would be up into like the hundreds of dollars, and it was like, $500. It was fun.
So it's excessive gambling and drinking.
Oh yeah, baby. It was like Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't even know who I was having sex with at certain points. What gender? I didn't know. It was a free-for-all. It was a foam party, too. I just had a bunch of fun. I filled my one-bedroom condo with foam that I bought for $75,000 that now would be worth some insane amount of money.
So, Bert, we've been hearing about the draft and whether or not it has talent depth or not, and it seems the consensus is that this is not a good draft on a lot of levels.
I would say, like, the teams that do well are going to be the teams that, like, nail it on Friday. I think it's that sort of year where there's good depth at certain positions, there's good depth at receiver, there's good depth at tight end, there's good depth at edge. And so, like, I look at, like, a Miami, for example. So Miami has the 11th pick, but they also have 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. So for them, it's... Are you going to find the guy who is going to be the best player on a Super Bowl champion? Probably not. But you do have an opportunity to build up the guts of your roster, if that makes sense. So you do have a chance to go get a bunch of really good players that can kind of start to stem the tide for you as you're trying to turn it around. So, like, I think if you're looking for good complementary players, you'll be able to find them. The stars at the top of the draft, and we had this discussion, I think, the last couple of weeks, like the Myles Garrett defensive end, the Julio Jones receiver, the Joe Alt left tackle, Penei Sewell left tackle, the Patrick.
He's a right tackle, stupid.
Well, he was a left tackle coming out, and now he's a left tackle again.
Why is he even here?
Yeah.
So could you argue,
you don't have
Albert, that this draft is more important for teams that are already good than it is for teams who
That's
need...
an interesting point. Yeah.
Ooh, hello.
I didn't even have to read that.
That almost seemed like a reaction.
Yeah.
How about this? I think this...
This is a...
Hey, Nick, get ready to cut this. Make it into a video.
Here we go.
Bert, I think this draft is more important for good teams than it is for bad teams.
How about that? Maybe this is the draft where you're renovating the house, not building it.
I like mine better. But if you want to punch it up, if you want to include that at the end, but fade it out and go to the station logo at that part of the video. Nick.
All right, so
blast.
We can look at like where we can look at where the Patriots are with this, right? And so edge is a big big need for them, right? So they're sitting at 31, and I'll give you guys 4 names that the listeners probably maybe aren't all that familiar with. There's Keldrick Falk from Auburn. There's Zion Young from Missouri. There's R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And there's Cassius Howell from Texas A&M.
What about the guy from Illinois? They just had a meeting with.
Okay, so like I'm just giving you these 4 names.
Yeah.
We can get to the Illinois guy. But those 4 names, right? So here, but this is an example of what this draft is, right? So with Falk and with
I know Falk. Yeah, I know.
With Falk and Young, they're bigger, longer, more rugged defensive ends,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So they're guys that they're your base end, but are they great pass rushers yet? No.
Okay.
The other two guys, Howell and Thomas, are more like they've got great juice coming off the edge. They'll be able to affect quarterbacks on third down, but they're smaller. So are they full-time players?
Probably
or
not.
Are they coming in as all right, he's going to be a nickel pass rusher? So that's what you're dealing with.
Complementary players.
Right. So it's that's why I'm saying you can find pieces to augment. Is there going to be a guy at 31 that you're going to say when the offense breaks the huddle, they're looking for where that edge split? Probably not. But there's going to be guys that can help you.
Okay, there's really no time for this, but we really got a break. But I'll tell you, if one thing about the draft, fourth running back on some guys' list is a kid from Penn State, and they're saying top end backup running back, and he's the fourth running back.
The running back class is historically bad.
Yes, so
it might be the two Notre Dame kids and no one else until Saturday.
Yes.
So,
yeah, but I just thought it was funny. There's a kid from Penn State who split time at Penn State, and they're like, he's at best a top end backup, and he's the fourth running back on the list. Bert, thank you.
Thanks,
MMQB
guys.
through the draft and everything else. He is holding Diana Rossini's water. No, I'm just kidding. He will be back next Friday with whoever's on the air. Thank you, Bert. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
exceeded all predictions and did well against Buffalo. It's a new season now.
I just don't like the fact that you set yourself up to say, well, we exceeded, because I don't want, they can pat themselves, but I want them focused on the fact that we expected to be competitive, and we said at the deadline, this team had earned the right to see this thing through. We felt we were a playoff team.
The Bruins practiced yesterday. Rookie James Higgins took rushes as the left wing on the third line. Celtics will play Philadelphia Sunday at 1 in Game 1 of that best-of-7 in the first round. Joel Embiid not expected to play during at least the early part of the series. The NBA has accepted the appeals of both Cade Cunningham and Luka Doncic. Both will be eligible for postseason awards, despite not playing in the required 65 games. Both played in 64. TMZ is reporting that former Chicago Bear and Philadelphia Eagle wideout Alshon Jeffrey was arrested early this week and charged with felony insurance fraud in California. He's facing up to 5 years in prison. Jeffrey caught a touchdown pass during the Eagles' Super Bowl win over the Patriots in 2018. And the Red Sox had last night off. Rangers Suarez pitches tonight at Fenway Park in the opener of a 4-game series with Detroit. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
And now, back to Toucher and Hardy on the...
There was an article about it's a problem for these podcasts that have moved to Netflix because they're getting money, but there's no one watching it. Which makes sense, because I don't know if I'm getting on Netflix to watch a 2-hour podcast. I don't really understand the idea of watching the 2-hour podcast. A live YouTube feed I could understand. You got it on the corner.
No, but a podcast that's recorded and old, and no.
No. And there are podcasts I like, believe me. I tell my daughter, I go, I like this one. There you go. All right. The Joe Show is no podcast. It's a live program that is on the evenings here at the Sports Hub. And during the summer, when the playoffs are all said and done, you get unfettered Joe. You get him with no games, which is the best Joe. We love the Joe Show. We do. We love Joe Murray. He's very talented. He's on Nesson now on the big afternoon show they have there. Very good show. Good people on it. So there's my praise of Joe. Now we are going to do what here, guys?
So we have two things, and they're actually out of order from the way they happened on the show. But the first thing that we're going to listen to is a mention of this show, and it had to do with a computer login issue that you had the other morning, Fred. And this was all after the phones had gone down, and they were just talking about the problems with the technology here in the studio, and there was some mention of this program.
Okay. Are we playing bingo?
We will do that second.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're saving the best part for last.
I like that.
Yeah.
A little dessert.
Yeah.
All right, here's the tizer. I'm teasing you with the tizer right now.
What is going on with the phone? Do you see that? It's like someone calls and then it just shortages right out.
Oh, no. Blind
Shortages?
Scott. Oh, no. Blind Scott can't sit on hold all morning. We're screwed. You mean we can't take the one call a morning that we take?
It's the shortages.
Well, there are shortages with phone people. Let's be
Right.
honest. A lot of redundancy, and they almost went too far with the cuts.
I don't like this. Oh, God. Who's working in the morning? Who's here in the morning?
I would imagine it's Adam 12 and Ryan Beaton and Nick Gemelli.
Did you hear, Fred? Jake had to use his computer yesterday.
I missed this.
So I heard it live.
Hell yeah, Joe, listen to the show. My man.
Up early. I like it.
Well, he's got 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Fred has Nick log in for him. And
why?
I don't know. And
it's a fair question.
Yeah.
I didn't send him out to buy me cigarettes. He gets in here and turns the TVs on the channels we want them and logs into our computers.
No. He logs
just
into your
yours.
computer.
All right. I never asked him to. This is just the way things have gone. Nick, have I ever asked you, since we've been here, to log into my computer? The first time did I go log into your...
He said he has not.
No, I never said, hey, Nick, start logging into my computer. He just started doing
But
it.
he did say you did send him out for butts once. Yeah, that was a while ago, though.
Yeah, when so what?
Yeah, when I smoked.
I am saying that it's not like I'm sending him out to like get me groceries or cigarettes. I probably did send him out to get cigarettes when he was an intern.
That was very, very Rick James of you. No, I didn't put my feet on his couch. Yeah, I put my feet on his couch.
No, I don't know if I asked him to get cigarettes or not.
Well, you said he did.
I don't know. He worked here 20 years ago. I don't know what I did 20 years ago. I'm saying that I haven't asked Nick in 15 years to go get me anything like that. If I had an intern, I'd have him go to get stuff.
Sure.
Just so they have something to do. I had an intern one time let my cleaning lady in. I had to do that.
And so Jake had to, Jim texted Nick like, hey, Jake's going to use Fred's computer for the big board. And he logged in, and now Fred couldn't get in today for some reason, and he was upset. And he called him the kid, so Jake's now the kid.
The kid, I don't hate that.
And Hardy called him Big Jake, which I've never heard anybody call him Big Jake.
Heard him referred to as Jolly Jake.
Jolly Jake.
I believe Tom Morgan called him that when he was an intern.
Okay. The phones are down. I'm sorry.
All right. There you go.
No one's ever called him Big Jake. I find that hard to believe.
I have no idea who he is. So he's an intern, so I just said probably
Beaton,
kid.
yes. Big Jake? Okay. All right, fine. But that's not really what we're here to do. What we're here to do is to examine the first couple minutes of audio when the phones started to go down, and that required Joe to pivot a little more than usual and maybe dance around a little bit more than even Joe is accustomed to doing. And I thought, what a fun thing for us to do, to examine the audio, listen very closely, and see if a certain number of things pop up. And when they do pop up, we will mark them off on our cards as we play something called
Joe Show Bingo. Joe Show Bingo.
Give me some cigarettes.
Joe Show Bingo. That's the name of the game. Bingo!
So I have bingo cards here for each of you. And I will tell you what items we are listening for. And when you hear these items mentioned on the Joe Show, you will scratch it or exit off your bingo card.
So we don't predict beforehand, but
No.
we all have different bingo cards?
Yes, well, they have the same things on each card, but they are in different orders. It is a 4x4 grid. There are 16 items that we have to be on the listen out for.
Well,
okay?
some of these are just going to happen right away.
Well, so first of all, and there's just a couple of minutes because we'll go hours sometimes on this program without taking a phone call. This is about, what do you have there, Fred?
We'll go a week without taking a phone call.
We have 3 minutes of audio we're going to listen to here, uninterrupted, unedited. 3 minutes.
Three and a half minutes.
Okay,
of audio.
so a caller, another caller, mentions of Mountain Dew, cream soda, audible breathing again. I mentioned, will you hear scaz? Will you hear the term in or out? Will he mention a city name? Another city's name? 2 seconds of silence? A separate 2 seconds of silence?
Okay.
A cry of ecstasy? Donuts? Cookies? And 7-Eleven.
Okay.
All right.
All these things,
Ringo.
I will tell you, will be mentioned in this 3 minutes of audio.
Oh, boy.
But who will get them on their bingo card first, either across, down, or diagonal?
Well, I can tell you, a second into this, you're getting 2 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
Just by the visual. If you don't know, I play these things that I can stop out of a system that shows the audio waves. There's a visual look of the audio, and I can tell you that we will get, hopefully you have silence in the beginning or audible breathing. You have it right in the middle of your card because that will aid you as you go for bingo.
Yes, here we go. All right.
Joe Show Bingo.
All right, the phones were down.
Bingo. Joe Show Bingo. That's the name of the
All right, so here we go. How do you? Who is going to get bingo first? Here we go. Joe Show bingo.
We got Sarko on the line. Sarko from his office. Hello, Sarko.
Okay.
All right, that's audible breathing.
Well, that's
does that count as silence as well?
I
mean, it could be both.
It's definitely a caller.
All right.
And I'm going to say silence, yes.
All right,
2
not
seconds
breathing.
Of silence.
Okay.
Okay, so
2 seconds of silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 2 seconds. Okay. Here we go. I got 2 in a row.
Yeah, we're working here. I got connection as well here. This is good.
Hello, Sarko. We have lost Sarko.
Okay, that's audible breathing.
That's audible breathing.
Okay.
All right, that's audible. Because silence is not technically silence if I could, with too fine-tooth a comb, because he is breathing audibly.
2 seconds of silence. Okay.
Topher is in Reading, Massachusetts. Hello, Topher.
That's another caller.
Hey, Joe.
Okay, so another caller.
There's also a city name. Yes?
Oh, very good, John. Yes.
So we have another caller.
Yeah. And it's just another city name would be the other one? All right.
Well,
No,
this is city
a
name.
city name.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A
This
city
is
name.
a city name,
Yeah.
and then you're looking for another city name.
Okay, here we go.
It's like a decade since I've actually called in and said hello.
When is the last time you've called in and said hello?
Oh God, I've been so busy. I think it's been probably about almost 2 months.
Audible breathing.
Okay.
Audible breathing.
Yep.
2.
Yep.
2 months.
Yeah.
I saw that you tried something tonight.
All right, well, there's so much audible breathing.
I did.
Would you like to give your review?
It was a dirty Mountain Dew.
All right,
there we go.
Mountain Dew.
I'm almost there.
Well, everyone's
so
almost
close.
there.
I'm
Jack.
so
We're
close.
playing here in the control room as well. Does anyone have bingo yet?
No, but we're close.
So it's a dirty Mountain Dew.
Dirty Mountain Dew.
So tell us what that is.
It's a Mountain Dew with cream soda.
Okay, cream soda.
It's a lot going on there.
All right, so cream soda and 2 seconds of silence.
We have another 2 seconds.
I'm not giving you another 2 seconds
No.
of silence there. No.
Okay.
All right, well then.
Yeah, erase it.
You should put 5 seconds of silence then, because I'm too wrapped up in the conversation to play. I'm too interested in where this is going.
Dirty Mountain Dew.
You know what that means? You dipped a little something in it.
It's a Mountain Dew with cream soda.
It's a lot going on there.
That's not 2 seconds of silence.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I called.
What do you think? I'm some boring.
You think I didn't come prepared? I have a take.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
Now just sit back and let me talk. It's going to take a little while for the words to come out, but have patience and grace.
It's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Wasn't
Jesus Christ.
I want 12 do we include mouse clicks?
Yes. Beaton was like, should we put mouse clicks
But
on
again, it's like you have mouse click again, mouse click again, mouse
This is
click
like when
again.
my dad answers the phone and I can tell he doesn't want to talk to me. Like,
You
it's like
just hear the clicking of the mouse.
He's desperately like waiting for my mother to come take the phone.
It's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
So did it?
I mean, there's audible breathing all over the place, but fine.
It tastes like cream soda.
Semi-disappointed.
Did it taste like cream soda?
What is it?
There's another 2 seconds of silence.
We got
right
both
there.
of the two.
Bingo! I got bingo!
I got
bingo!
You won.
This game was stupid. It's silenced and it counted silence. He's breathing all over the place. I don't like it. All right, should I finish the call for our edification?
Of course.
All right. Enough hijinks.
You got to play the cover on.
All right, here we go.
Hello?
It's like you're trying to sell him something. Like, hello? You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. We're talking about the Mountain Dew.
Did it taste like cream soda? Hello? Are you there? Topher? Hello? Hello? Topher! Topher! Hello? Can you hear me?
It's a damn French call screener.
Is everything okay?
Who knows?
He's gone.
I think it's got to be. It's always our phones.
His head exploded with the exciting news that he had a Mountain Dew
and a cream soda.
Well, no, he put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about Joe's volume of breathing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Topher!
Topher, did you get bored and hang up?
Yeah.
This is like the RMV of calls. What the hell's he doing there? We got to do, he's got to help us, but we got to do like name that noise.
It always is.
Hey, I could hear him. He couldn't hear me.
I could hear you.
In or out on cream soda?
Out.
All right. In or out.
You can check out Scaz, too.
I don't know what
I
to
still
do.
don't have bingo. Because
Nick
we're not
has got
counting
bingo.
silences, apparently.
Do you have Scaz? We heard Scaz.
Yeah, I still don't have bingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a dummy card.
You ever had a root beer float?
In.
No. What is it? You know what kind of wood doesn't float? Dun-dun-dun.
By the way, I should have mentioned this, but Slurpees and 7-Eleven, what's going on there?
There you go.
It's about time someone addressed it.
Hey, you go in there and serve yourself. What's going on?
On Roach's birthday, he gets free ones.
Yeah.
He was born on July 11th. He never made the connection until he was told on this very show.
That was good. That was a great day.
And they asked him for his ID. He literally couldn't put two and two together. He honestly thought the guy gave him it because it was his birthday. What happened is Roach went to the counter at 7-Eleven on his birthday, which is 7-Eleven. And he said, "It's my birthday." And the guy he goes, "It's my birthday." And the guy went, "Oh, yeah, let me see your ID." And he goes, "Oh, yeah." And he shows him the ID. And he goes, "That Slurpee's on the house." And he goes, "Wow." And he left. And then the next time he came in, he's like, "I got a free Slurpee on my birthday." And we're like, "When's your birthday?" And he's like, July 11th. And someone was like, "Hey, dumbasses, it's 7-Eleven." And then we did the research and we're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slurpees and 7-Eleven, what's going on there?
Ask Hitler. I don't know.
I just Googled it. I don't see any news about Slurpees right now.
It's more of an observation.
Oh.
It's not being covered in the Lame Street News.
It's like a Seinfeld. What's going on there?
All right. I'll play 30 seconds more of this.
What's going on with Slurpee? Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't. Please fill me in.
All right.
Aren't they known for their Slurpees?
Well, yeah. Back in the day, we used to go to Quincy.
This doesn't sound like what's going on at all. This sounds like back in the day.
The one, yeah, because we'd cut through Hyde Park, and we would go. But there are huge Slurpee cups, by the way. That you're right. That is what it's known for.
Huh? I thought it was something was going on.
Yeah.
We don't have time. There's too much silence. It takes up too much time. All right.
Topher!
Very good. Okay. Cedric Maxwell will be joining us in just a moment.
Joe Show, bingo. That's the name of the game. Bingo! Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration.
Ooh, a political Cedric Maxwell today as we get our weekly Cedric Maxwell call. Cedric Maxwell, his number is retired in the rafters of TD Garden. He is, of course, a longtime voice of our radio broadcasts on this very station as the playoffs get started soon. They only needed a few weeks off between the last game of the season and the beginning of the real playoffs. But Cedric Maxwell, hello, sir.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Sean Grande will be my broadcast partner for that game.
Now, how far could you throw him?
Throw Sean, and I'm not. I'm 70 years old. I'm not throwing anybody anymore. I'm shooting them or hitting them in the head with a bat. Well, that's
Have you fantasized about doing that to your broadcasting partner?
Fantasize. Let's not use that word, and you're talking about broadcast. That's not good. I maybe thought about it. Yeah, fantasize. Let's not use that word.
Why does it? Do you think it leans risque? I didn't mean it in that sense.
Yeah, it has a risque moment in it, and I don't.
Well, that's unfair, Cedric. That's not its intention, and you are inferring a lot there. I do not like that.
Well, people do it all the time, so I just try to stop it on the way in.
Because Grandy was on Nesson, and he was very wayfish.
Wayfish, okay. I didn't know what is that word, wayfish.
Do you remember the models of the '60s, like the Twiggies?
Yes.
It's sort of like that very
very thin, spindly,
weak.
Okay. and we digress.
Yeah, okay, I'll get off of it. All right, do you like the play-in?
I actually do. It gives, they've been pretty exciting. The fact that Golden State did what they did and see Al Horford play that way. Charlotte here, the excitement that was around that team, what they were able to do. So there's some. It's compelling when I think about those teams. Some, win game and go home. It's been very interesting.
It's you brought up Al Horford. We were talking about this the other day, and I thought of you, Max, because Al Horford had to change his game and start become a 3-point shooter. We saw Andre Drummond the other night, hit the dagger 3-pointer, and John and I were talking about it. We're like, I thought Andre Drummond all he did was rebound, and this guy is shooting 3-pointers now. It still must be amazing, too, because you've talked about it. Like, if you were forced to make that transition, maybe you could have, but it wasn't even really a consideration. Now it's an absolute necessity. If you're a big man, you got to be able to shoot threes, too.
Yes, that is true. It's anybody who's out there. I remember seeing many, many times guys who were post players over the years as a broadcaster and watching them and going, man, why are you out shooting threes now? And he says, you have to have that in your pocket just in case you're out on the floor. And you need to have it if you're going to be on the floor. So yeah, it's a necessity. I would love to see some of the old school guys like this. Would Kareem have that in his pocket? Elijah Wan, Kevin McHale had a little bit of that in his pocket, but Robert Parrish didn't have that kind of range where he was going to go out from the 3-point line. So I would to think about it and to force those guys into that situation would have been interesting.
Now the Celtics get Philadelphia, Max, and we were talking about Joel Embiid a couple of days ago. Is Joel Embiid, when he's on the floor, still at the height of his powers, or have all the injuries kind of diminished him a little bit?
John, here he comes. Mr. Obvious again. Come on, John. Come on. You know that Joel Embiid is not who he was when he came to the league. The injuries have really plagued him, and everybody says the same thing. This series, you probably won't. I don't even know if you're going to see Joel Embiid because of the appendix situation. So it's just hard to see a great player over the years be so good and so great, and then all of a sudden have these injuries and take him to yet a lower level, and that's where he seems he's at right now.
What did you think about the just to regress for a second? What did you think about what LaMelo Ball did to Bam Adebayo?
Love that.
You like the takedown.
It harks back to when I've talked to officials before, and I think it was a couple of years ago, and I saw the game change in a month where it wasn't physical, and then they got in the playoffs and became physical. I walked up to the officials at half court and I said, I'd like to thank you guys for bringing the game back to the 80s, something I recognize. So when I see Bam go down, was it a cheap play? Yeah. Did they find him? Yeah. But that's part of basketball, the intimidation factor. Are you really trying to hurt somebody? I don't think he was trying to do that, but still the fact that it happened, that's the physicality of the game.
Do you give any credibility to his excuse? He got hit in the head. He was kind of dazed.
Didn't know where he was.
He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done this before. So, but does that ring true to you at all, Max? That maybe he was just
no. That's some BS. When you talk about the guy saying, "No, I was tripped and I was confused and I did not quite know what I was doing." No, you know what you were doing. You did it. You did it on purpose. And if you were playing during the 80s, then somebody's going to come back and they're going to take your name for that. And if you were playing Miami if the series had continued and it was not a one-off, there would have been some retaliation in a kind of funny way, but it wouldn't have been like it was during the 80s where you had to really throw down.
LaMelo Ball said afterwards he was going to go check on Bam and see if he was okay. And
John, please.
He didn't.
God.
And Bam said afterwards, no, LaMelo never went and came and checked on me. If a situation like that happened in your day, you genuinely hurt someone?
Would you allow somebody, and John, I love you to death, but John, would you allow another guy to come in your locker room after he flipped you over? Would you
No.
think that guy could come in and do that? No.
No.
I'm not doing that. That's crap. I mean, you tell me something. Tell me these fairy tales about, oh, man, I went to check on these guys, and I really felt bad. And here's something I did. in 1985, after we lost to the Lakers, I actually went to their locker room and I congratulated them on the victory. So there's some people who do things, but that particular thing about flipping a guy over, tripping him, and going to apologize in his locker room after the other guy's already pissed off, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Weber said the same thing. He's like, you hold onto a guy's legs. So even when Weber was playing, I guess that's pretty much understood.
But that's interesting too, Max. It's like not only would you not do it, you wouldn't be allowed in the locker room to do it. So either way, it's not happening.
Only way you could do that is if you met a guy after the game on the bus leaving.
Yeah,
you could have talked to him then. But to go into another guy's locker room after doing what you did and everybody being heated, I don't think security would allow you to do that.
Did you ever see a guy wait for a guy like by the bus?
Oh yeah. I happened to be there when Carmelo did
that's
it
right.
after the whole Honey Nut Cheerio thing that supposedly Kevin Garnett said. I came down at Madison Square Garden after the Celtics played the Knicks. Celtics beat them. And I'm like one of the first people down there, but I see Carmelo down near the bus, and he's just bopping. I mean, he's like he's a crack dude. I was like, what the hell is he doing down here? And he's just bouncing around, and he was literally came down there to wait for Kevin Garnett because he wanted to challenge Kevin. So that never happened. That they stirred him away. But yeah, I've seen guys do that before.
Yeah, it's a different league now. People are not as wrapped up in this.
Everything is different. Don't we think that? Football players, quarterbacks don't get hit anymore the way they did during the early times during the 70s and the 80s. That's gone away. Baseball players, you really don't come in the home plate. Everything has really changed. It's become a lot more family friendly. Like John Wallace has a son that really is a really good player. But the other son, John, maybe not a good basketball player. Did he get an award for participation? Is that how these things go now? When you come and participate? Oh, he didn't.
No,
he did not. Sorry, John. I know that's how it happens out in the neighborhood where you live, John. Participation.
It's terrible, Max. One more question. The broadcast location in Philadelphia is back in the crowd. Are you going to pick fights again with the Sixers fans while you're there?
John, that's still in litigation, okay? We can't talk about that. The white guy, he's dead now, John. That was 45 years ago.
I didn't know you kept track. That's good.
John, I tried to. Look, Philly fans have always had a thing, and, I am very friendly with them now. So I don't anticipate a 70-year-old man up in the stands swinging on anybody. But, I want to use one of Robert Parrish's lines, but I can't use it now. I want to say, "S can happen." So, but I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to try to behave myself and then kind of enjoy the games. I think it's going to be an interesting series. First couple games, because all the pressure is on the Boston Celtics. There is no pressure at all on Philly because everybody's anticipating that the Celtics are going to go roughshod through Philly. So these first couple of minutes in the first game, second game, those are going to be critical for the Celtics to do what they need to do.
Well, if anything does happen with the fans there, Max, just make sure you check on them afterward.
Yeah, I will. I'll make sure I go to their houses.
Yeah.
And say, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry I put my forearm in your head. I didn't mean to do that.
I have a feeling you would be more seeing them at a table separated in front of a judge if that was the case now in this day and age.
Hey, why would you guys say that? Mary told us not to do that. Rick of our station said, don't do anything as a broadcaster that's gonna, put any bad light onto the station. So I'm going to behave myself while I'm up in the stands.
Typical management saying, don't fight the spectators in the crowd. I mean, it's just, what will they allow you to do?
We love that. Don't we love it? And I have a message from your guy. Kyle Bailey told me to tell you hello. I was down at the station here, and he said, tell that guy I said hello.
Did that really happen?
It did.
Why are you talking to Kyle Bailey?
They're friends. He's on with him.
I used to work down there at the station. At WFNZ, I would do I would come on like you guys have at the studio now, and we did a bunch of shows down there. I did a show with him a couple of times, and that's how he happened to get your telephone. Well, yeah, Rick, right? Hey, do you know the guy up there who runs your stuff? Yeah, sure. Here's his number. I didn't know you were having a Family Feud moment with a guy down here in Charlotte.
Yeah. He called Rick and left about literally 12 voice messages. So
Fred Toucher is a nut job.
Yeah. Cut me to the quick. Well, Cedric, I'm glad you're on our team. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
I can't wait for this game on Sunday. I'm excited about the NBA and all the things going on. And Sunday, for it to be a game in Boston against Philadelphia, that harks back to tradition. It's going to make me all queasy thinking about playing against Dr. J and the 76ers in Boston. And, those were great times for me and my teammates during the 80s.
Yeah. 1 o'clock on Sunday, 76ers come into town. Cedric will be on the call along with his partner, Sean Grande, as Cedric likes to say.
He said it. He said it. Yes, he said it.
That's right, Cedric. I'm the bigger man, Cedric, in every way. Cedric, thank you so much for joining us.
Every way?
Yeah, I guess.
Way? Is that right?
Nah, probably not. But anyway, Cedric, enjoy.
Holmes, I'm sorry.
No. There's about a foot difference. All right, Cedric, thank you so much. Enjoy the call. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good one, gentlemen.
All right, there you go. Cedric Maxwell. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Love that.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Fix up, look sharp.
Fix up, look sharp. Don't make me
We are, all three of us are going to be going all next week. Hardy is going to Naples, Florida. I'm going with my daughter to the Bahamas. And John is going to suburban Philadelphia. He will be driving down there.
New York first.
Yeah, but that's not the interesting part.
Okay.
New York, I could see going to. The part that I don't understand is the suburban Philadelphia
We'll
part.
be there. It's about 20 miles west. Nice.
So not even really suburban
No,
Philadelphia.
it's way out there.
Rural,
rural
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Are they Amish?
No, we're just short of that country.
Okay.
But we're out there. Near Ursinus University. That's where we are.
Of course. So everyone knows the
Very
Ursinus
tiny
University.
school, yes.
It's a place very congested.
Right.
So, like, what will you do? How will you fill the days?
Oh, there's a movie theater I can walk to from my mother-in-law's place. I could probably go there. The Wegmans up the road. Yeah, plenty of chain restaurants nearby. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Sounds like a Dan Roach vacation.
Actually, we're going to try and get tickets.
Groceries.
The Celtics are going to be in Philadelphia on Friday, and we're trying to get tickets for that particular playoff game.
What do you mean trying?
The prices are outrageous at the moment.
Oh,
We
yeah,
are
yeah.
going
You got to
to
wait till the day before.
Yes.
Yeah. So you think you'll go to that?
Yes, that is the goal for Friday night.
All right, that's not bad.
As a reward for your children for suffering through the boredom that they will be going at. They will.
I mean, the multiple car rides. And...
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great.
I mean, I used to have to spend weeks, like a couple weeks, at my grandparents' house, my mom's parents' house in the middle of Long Island, like not Nassau County, like the middle of like Comac, like that area.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day, that was like rural, and obviously there were no phones or internet. They didn't have a home computer. They didn't have cable. They didn't have anything. There was nothing to do. And I was there for 2 weeks with no one to play with and nothing to do. It was just the worst.
And my parents used to dump me on my grandmother. She lived on Long Island to a place called Lido Beach. And it's on the South Shore. And it was the same thing. My sister and I would sit there.
You had a sister, though. I didn't have anybody.
No, I understand, but the theory is the
We know.
same. It's like my sister hung out and played games together. It just
You had that
the
option.
same thing. It was not fun.
So what we would do is finally my parents took me to the Hilton Head, and we stayed at one of what at the time were called plantations. They don't call them that anymore.
Oh, you like that?
Oh, I loved it. That's why we went.
As a young history buff.
That's why we went. Stop trying to co-opt the master stuff. So we and then I used to like walk alone to the beach and like just go up to kids and be like, "Hey,
You want to play with me?"
Essentially, I'd be like, "Hi," and then I would end up having a good time.
Yeah.
Like it was so easy to hook up with girls and stuff because it was vacation. I would just tell these outrageous lies.
How old were you?
Starting at like 12, probably.
Hooking up, huh?
Well, one time when I had 1 year where I was good looking. Like in 8th grade, I was good looking. Like legitimately good looking. And I was good looking enough that I had been skateboarding around where my grandparents lived. And we were like all sitting around in the living room watching TV. And 2 girls came up to the window and knocked. And I went out and I hooked up with both of them. And so, I mean, not like I didn't have sex with them, but I like made out with both of them. And like, I was like, wow, maybe I'm good looking. I thought that. And like, there's pictures. Like
For a fleeting moment in 1988.
We went to Cooperstown. Yeah, we went to like Cooperstown, and there's a picture of me, and I'm like good looking. I got like my hair is like from the summer, like it's blonde. Like I have a decent haircut, and it's before like I was hairy, and then I realized quickly that was not lasting. But I had that one magical year of being good looking.
What, was this the same era in which you told a girl that you were in the Descendants and she knew the Descendants? And
it's so cringy that I don't even like talking about it. But I
Sorry.
called myself
It's a great
Steven.
story.
To this punk girl, I'm like, I'm in the Descendants. And she goes, "Who are you?" I go, "I'm Steven Egerton." And she goes, "By the way, his name's Stefan." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." It was nice lying to you. I have no self-esteem. Thanks.
Oh, no.
Well, you know the
How
Hilton.
old were you when you did that?
15.
Oh.
But you know the story, I've told it on the air, is that me and my friend Craig went to Hilton Head, and the year before I had met a girl and hooked up with her, and we wrote letters to each other throughout the year. And it was kind of understood that I was going to lose my virginity to her. This is right before I lost my virginity at 15. And we went out to, when I was 15, it was probably like a month before I actually lost my virginity. And I met the girl, and Craig and I got into a hot tub with her, and I feel her reaching for me under the water, and then I realize she's doing the same thing to Craig. So I get out of the hot tub, and I'm like on the verge of like tears. Like I had waited all year. Like I'd been so excited to see this girl, and I'm like about to cry, and then like 15 seconds after, Craig comes paddling behind me, and he's like, "No time for that." And I went, "That's a good friend." Yeah. Because he could have just sat there and had her finish, but he went, no. He got up and left too. He thought it was disrespectful to me.
Good for her for doing the browsing, though. You know, not just settling. You know,
Maybe she
felt one of these I want.
Like in retrospect, maybe she felt like that's what she was supposed to do. I don't know. It wasn't what any of us wanted. I don't imagine it's what she wanted either. But for whatever reason, I think she probably thought that would be cool or something. I don't know. But it was heartbreaking.
Pretty ballsy for you, too, to claim to be the guitarist from the Descendants. Quick look shows that he's at least 10 years older than you.
He's like more than that.
Yeah. So
I just
as
figured.
a 15-year-old, you were claiming to be like a 28-year-old?
Yeah. I figured they wouldn't know.
What are the odds? Seriously. Oh,
Yeah.
the Descendants. No, you're lying.
Yeah.
Come on.
Punk rock girl in '88.
Seriously, yeah.
Probably
Pretty rare.
probably 100% that for the punk rock chick, 100% that she was gonna know. But I'm such an idiot. I didn't know that anyone else knew. I thought they were all hicks. They thought they were all dumb hicks. So I was like, I'll say whatever I want, and they'll believe it. I'm from Detroit. They're not gonna. What do they know? These stupid hillbillies. And sure enough, just you could be into punk rock wherever you lived. It didn't matter what city you were in.
What movie are you going to see, John?
Oh, I have no idea.
There's a lot of really good ones out, so you should.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Don't
You can see the Mario Brothers.
I
movie,
know,
which
I
is
know.
a plotless fever dream.
There's nothing. Nothing.
I know other people who've seen the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's loosely a movie. It's images upon a screen. It's just this wild, spastic, epileptic seizure of a film.
It's kind of like that guy who did the Banksy movie, and it's just image after image with the pulsing soundtrack in the background.
It's like in Boomerang where they let the wild guy from the 7-Up commercials make the ad.
Oh, yeah.
That's like what Super Mario Brothers is. It's just some weird thing to set off an epileptic fit. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Jim Nantz was on Pat McAfee, so you know it was really good. We'll be back in just a moment.
for postseason awards, despite not playing the required 65 games. Both of them played 64. The Patriots' Deion Branch will announce a pick on day 2 of the NFL draft next week. And the Red Sox had last night off. Rangers Suarez starts tonight. It's the opener of a 4-game series at Fenway Park against Casey Mize and Detroit. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the Nines the day after the Red Sox win and get a free kids meal with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub. Touch your shot.
Kaboom! Did we all just take acid? Take acid? It's unbelievable.
Like you, Fred. I'm not worried.
We have...
This is breaking sports news, powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, so this is all hearsay and a caller, but be on your toes, ladies and gentlemen, because there is breaking news. Matt, hello.
Hello, Fred.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So, I'm a carpenter, and I'm working at a person's house this morning, and they got Fox and Friends on. And the weather comes on, and the weatherman's on there. He goes, "It's tradition here that when we have an intern that's leaving soon, we let him contribute to the show. So this fella's going to do the weather today." So he gets up there, he does the weather. And he says, "Tell us your name and where you go to school." He's like, "I go to Hofstra University, and my name's Isaac." And I instantly thought of you.
Oh, was he redheaded?
Yeah, redheaded, short-legged.
Oh, yeah, that's his description to a T. He is short-legged.
Isaac.
By the way, so the national Fox and Friends broadcast?
Yeah.
So you know who watches Fox and Friends every morning is Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States.
The President saw Isaac this morning.
So you would think chances are better than most, than not, that the President now knows one of my mentees, the great Isaac.
Yep.
Wow.
You are connected to the President right now.
Do you think that they let him do the weather because of just because of his looks, because of his matinee idol looks?
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt, thank you. This is beautiful news. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how proud I am. One of my
I
Hofstra
thought
boys.
you'd be interested.
Oh, Matt, you guessed correctly. That means the President of the United States saw Isaac this morning. And
say my name.
Isaac. And if you read anything, Isaac, if you read,
I'm Isaac.
Hi, Isaac. If you read anything about like someone who's in the orbit of the president, like while they're with him, he has Fox and Friends invariably like loud on a TV. It's any reporting like around Trump, Vanity Fair, New York Times, like even Fox, like even the ex anchor that does her own thing, Megyn Kelly, she talks about how like he's got Fox on all the time, so. He's almost a conduit to the president. Are we to blame Isaac for the troubles of this nation? He's partial. Isaac, my man, getting down and getting loose with the weather. Now, it's beneath him. He's not some weather hussy. He's a real journalist, and let Isaac cover the stories. But you can't let him because he's can't be controlled. You get him behind the microphone talking about politics. He could. The president's walking. That's a hot mic with a hot button. You can't let him loose.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm looking. I can't find it.
You know, I got.
Well, if it's true, it would be on the front of Fox News.
Well, I'm going to log on to my.
Isaac does weather.
I got to log into my Truth Social account because there'll probably be posts about it there.
What if the president is like in caps, like new superstar, the hottest, because he loves to say the hottest, like the U.S. is the hottest country because it's still 1979. And he's like,
say my name.
Isaac. Yeah, it's Isaac. So I wonder if he's like the hottest new weatherman, Isaac. And then it's like Tootsie, like the montage in Tootsie.
Oh,
where
yeah,
he's
on the
like
cover
of
of Time.
And
Yeah.
like,
Ms.
And then he does and then let's fantasize. He does like an in-depth interview with Rolling Stone about like the new firecracker that's on Fox News. And he's like, it all started when a man by the name of Fred Toucher, you might not know him, he's just a local guy in Boston, but he held my hand through the beginning of the process.
My name is Isaac Brendel. Say my name. Isaac.
Good for Isaac. Just internship after internship.
But I mean, he has been more exposure to more. Well, I've been on CNN, and then they told me never to come back, and that's absolutely true. But I mean, Fox and Friends has probably got what 2 million viewers, and the president
easily.
So I mean, my goodness, I believe Fox and Friends is like the highest rated cable news morning show out of the three. So it doesn't have the hot lady that is oddly hot that's married to the co-host on on MSNBC.
Okay, so here is a post from Fox about their intern spotlight, and this was online.
Oh, look at Isaac dressed to kill. I wonder if his grandmother paid to get those photos taken.
Isaac Brendel, what have you learned from interning at Fox? I've learned so much at Fox, period. One thing that I've definitely learned is that I love the industry. Each day that I walk into my internship, I have a sense of purpose and pride. Interning at Fox has taught me more than I ever thought I could learn about what it takes to get a show on the air. Taught me how to work at a large company, learn the culture, and navigate the system. Even more important, I've learned how to bring my skills to a team to make our work the best it can be. Learning to be proactive in contributing value to the team and its success is something that I'm definitely practicing. Fox, all caps, has taught me how to think ahead and anticipate what's next for my show, this internship, and my life.
Well played, Isaac.
Hi.
This is the media dance Isaac does. It's all about the things between the lines. And in the way he ended my show, the Isaac Experience, which is in the beta planning stages. But there is an idea for a variety hour. That's all I'll say.
That was a separate tweet from Fox Careers, which has, on Twitter, just Twitter alone, 965 followers.
But do you, if you're a college kid, don't you want to be the guy after the guy who interns for Isaac? Like, you don't want to be the guy who interns after Isaac.
Oh,
you want
yeah,
to be the guy
yeah.
after the guy who interns for Isaac.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to follow.
It's like
that.
when Stern went off the air, you didn't want to be David Lee Roth because you're just going to get you're going on for the greatest to ever do it. That's right, David. David and Isaac are both. I know. Isn't it amazing, David? I know, Isaac.
Yeah.
Is that the last time Isaac's ever on TV unless he murders someone? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. That's a question we have to ask ourselves.
I just went to his Instagram.
That's for time to tell.
Hoping that he had posted it, but his Instagram is private, so you have to go through the whole rigmarole.
I'm emailing the executive producer of Fox and Friends right now to try to get a clip.
Oh, good.
That was Beaton's idea. I gotta give him credit for it, but I'm reaching out.
Yeah, so you're reaching out to Stan.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah, Stan's a good guy.
That's right.
Tell him FT says hello. Tell him No Pocket says what's up. Oh, Isaac. You magnificent bastard. He's the Forrest Gump of interns. It's a whole situation.
Do you know Isaac is the president of Hofstra Republicans?
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. He wants to be a local councilman.
How about that?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Isaac knows more about politics.
The kid is getting so much strange.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even go back to Hofstra now? It's like when Rivers Cuomo went to Harvard.
Yeah, you've touched the sun. It's a long way down from there.
Well, no, just the accolades. I mean, at some point, it just becomes a dreary drone. Like, it's like, I am Isaac. I'm not this man you've built me up to be.
I can't be confined like this.
Just treat me like a human being. Like, why? It's just I'm surrounded by yes men now. That's Isaac's problem.
Looking at the Hofstra Republicans Instagram feed, a lot of stuff with Curtis Sliwa.
Yes, yes, of course. You know, Isaac is bringing back the beret guys. that he's the.
Well, it's red on top, and he immediately felt kinship with him.
Yeah, he just writes beret on his hair. What are they called? The guardian angels.
Yeah.
I mean, think if you're a woman on a subway at night, and you're like this douchebag mayor we got. He's got no police on this train, and you're nervous. But then you see Isaac standing there, and you're like, justice.
My name is Isaac Brendel. Say my name. Isaac.
All right. Well, that's good news. Well, thank you for letting
Isaac.
Thank you for letting us know that, Mark. You are a true hero. All right. Jim Nantz, who is insufferable, he brings a picture of how he wants his toast toasted, how he wants it to look into diners.
Keeps it in the inside breast pocket of his sports coat that he's wearing at all times.
So he gives a waitress, this is not a lie, so he said this himself, he will give a waitress at a diner, which is, who's making, bills are $25, they're making $2.50 off your table if there's more than one of you. So he gives that to them, and then she has to tell the short order cook, in theory, this is how he wants his toast. And a short order cook at like a Waffle House is not making the kind of money where you hand them a photo and say, here's how I want it toasted. Them getting the food out to you is the end of their obligation. There is no, and hopefully it's
something approaching what you ordered.
Cooked to a way that you won't become ill. That is a safe, with a short order cook, that's what you're getting.
Right.
A lot of short order cooks, from my experience the years I waited and bartended, were on work release from prison.
Yeah.
Not the nicest people, but nonetheless. All right, but they had their own problems. But Jim Nantz was on Pat McAfee, so it was a real meeting of the minds. And here is a part of what occurred.
I didn't notice what
because the Masters coverage sucked at the end.
Right.
We all know. They didn't show Rory McIlroy making the final putt. It was a distant shot from behind him. The two approach shots that were scattered. They had a long shot of the green, and you couldn't see where either ball landed. They made a joke that when Rory hit his the shot out of the bunker, that they didn't know whose ball was whose. They were like had a big conference. Like it was a disaster.
Yeah,
like an objective disaster. Like not nitpicking, like a horrible broadcast.
All right, you might want to check and see. Do we have the full question here? Because if so, we may not have time for it.
We have plenty of time.
Okay,
right,
good.
We're going on vacation.
All right.
The more time this eats up, the quicker we are to vacation.
Fair enough.
I like the way you think, sir.
Yeah. Just let me guide you into coasting.
Got it.
Trust me, I know how to coast. All right, here it is.
I didn't notice what the people that watched at home saw, though.
Home.
Why'd we see Rory's heels? Listen, I am okay. We've done live production before at much smaller scale than what you have done. So let me say this: there are moments when live production happens where things go down, or there's something you didn't think, and there's also.
All right. So what the deal is? You ask him why the broadcast sucked, but you give him a big long excuse before
Correct.
you ask the question.
Yeah,
What an interviewer!
Correct.
What a masterful interviewer. It's almost like if he didn't pay Aaron Rodgers $1 million to come on his show and got viral through that, he wouldn't have this gig.
And for McAfee, who knows, he's savvy enough to know that his content is probably being consumed in 30-second to 1-minute clips more so than people are sitting there watching it. He should know better. He should know better that just ask a quick question, get the answer, and that way it's got a better chance of being disseminated.
You want an easy question? What happened? What went wrong during the
final
18th hole, the
hole.
final round of the Masters? And then he answers it. And if he hems and haws, then you make it even more clear cut. I'm speaking about how you didn't show the approach shots and how they got in. Do you know what happened? What was that like calling it? Because you knew there was no visual evidence of what you were calling.
Let him ask it in his way, Fred. He's making $100 million. What do you know?
Not how to start my own business, that's for sure.
Decisions being made in the moment. So I'm not saying that everybody's perfect, but a big conversation piece was if Rory would have missed that right there somehow, they don't think we would have seen it, which obviously...
They don't think we would have seen it. They don't think the haters, the people that watched it. Who's they? We wouldn't have seen it. And by the way, he's not in control of the cameras. Like, so you're not even putting him on the spot because he didn't do anything wrong. Like, this is asinine. Like, just, dude, what happened? What was it like calling that? Was it weird to see it on the monitor? Like, that's a compliment to him. Boy, is this a bad question, because you're not even asking him that he failed at something. You're just asking him about something he had no control over, which is, I take it the way he answered it, but we continue.
It would have been a massive conspiracy. Everything would have gone crazy, but also, why this? Do you have any thoughts on that? And in me asking this question puts you...
Oh, my God.
I told you.
He's not smart.
We're 45 seconds in.
No,
I told you.
He's super dumb.
You in a terrible position with anybody. And if that is the case, feel free not to...
Yeah, give him the out right away.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable in any way.
Man.
Well, sometimes that's a valuable thing in an interview. Like, I'm not trying to get you on the hook, just like, because that might open him up a little bit for a follow-up, but not at the end of a soliloquy.
And if that is the case, feel free not to answer.
You just said it perfectly, Pat. It's live television. We all make mistakes. First off, for the record, the putt was that long. If he would have missed it...
How long? Bigger than a bread box?
And we would have had the all-time story in the history of golf. But I'm really proud of our crew. You're making, as you said, so many decisions, split-second decisions.
Oh, no, you're not. You have all the time in the world. It's
golf.
One guy. It's one guy. There's no one else on the course. It's one guy at a time hitting to a specific location.
It's not highlight.
No, right. It's not. What are you talking about? It's the last two guys on a big ass golf course shooting for the same target. The hell are you talking about? It's live TV. It's hard to get. What? That's complete nonsense. Just go to the right stationary camera. What the hell is he talking about? Is it the first time golf's ever been on television? That's the stupidest answer. I'm sure Pat McAfee pushes back, though.
The things that were shown, produced by our crew, hundreds of people involved over the course of 4 days, some 30 hours of television. I can't speak to the difficulty and some of the decision making, some of the other things that people are responsible for. I just know that our crew is the best in the business
and loves metal. And Sandra is in a Screaming for Vengeance, a Judas Priest cover band. Pat, to answer your question.
Our crew is nominated at the...
Oh, all right, shut up. I can't even play the whole thing. The whole thing is horrible.
I told you.
Thank you for that.
So much for coasting.
We need Isaac to intern with...
I can't even play it.
We need Isaac to intern with CBS Sports and get them straightened out. That needs to be his next stop.
If you want to waste Isaac on trivial matters like sports, I'm glad that you're not his mentor. Isaac's going to save the world.
One weather forecast at a time.
You woke pricks are going to get a big smash of Isaac juice.
Say my name. Say my name. Isaac.
To think he wanted to come back here and intern. Look what's happened.
Good, dude. If they're going to put you on Fox and Friends, go on Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for Isaac. In all seriousness, good for Isaac. That's awesome. It's cool that they do that, too. That they let you on national TV where the president's watching. They're crapping their pants on there. They know. Do you know the pressure on those guys they know the president?
Yeah.
Like sometimes he'll call in. Like he calls in. Like that's a really uncomfortable position to be in. I mean, I do. While I do not always agree with them, I have to give them some credit. That's a position I would not want. I would not take the job hosting Fox and Friends, and not even politics. I don't need the president like listening to me and judging me on a consistent basis for every day, 5 days a week. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Our email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. John is going to start off. You can email us. It's basically our names at 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and just on Instagram at Fred Toucher, where we are pumping out content like it's the caboose of a double-barreled engine.
Well done. Yes. Good conspiracy theory for the Diana Rossini Mike Vrabel.
I read this.
Yes. Charlotte and Madeline said something on the Sports Gossip Show yesterday that could be huge. If the pictures of Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini were taken by a professional PI, there's no way the investigator would have sold them to Page Six if he was working for one of the spouses. They appear to be pro-shot pictures not taken with an iPhone. Would it be impossible to think that Bill Belichick was jealous and upset that Vrabel took the Patriots to the Super Bowl in his first year as a head coach? And the girlfriend who wore an Orchids of Asia shirt to the Duke UNC basketball game and has proven to be not so nice a person may have wanted to do something about it? Would it be so outrageous to think that Jordan was the one who hired the private investigator?
No.
Well, I'm all for jamming Jordan and Bill into any conversation. I do like that. I like playing the hits. And I'll tell you, there's two things that we've done very quickly on this show since we've started where I've gotten the most. I'll just tell you the two things I've gotten the most, like on the street, people coming up to me about. Bill Belichick and the theme song for the TVs. Those are the two. That bit from this week, I've had like literally 5 strangers or people I had a loose association with like talk about that segment because I'm such a loser that they were baffled. They knew I was a loser, but not to that degree. Did Bill hire a private investigator to go? I love Charlotte Wilder, and I think she does a great job with on her podcast. It's a very unique take, and I do enjoy them a lot. But their theory is it their theory or the emailer's
it's
theory?
It's the email theory. It's Bob from Lawrence's theory, which I like.
I mean, if that
be great if it was true.
If Jordan hired a private investigator to catch Rossini and Vrabel, she should be in jail or in a mental asylum because that's too much. TOO.
And if anybody missed the bit earlier in the week, it was not playing just the intro of a television theme song. It wasn't playing the first second of it. It was playing the first 1/10 of a second of a television show theme song. And Fred and Wallach had to guess what they were. So, for instance, we played this. And to that, Fred, you would say?
Oh, that one was that one the Full House one?
Everywhere you look.
Yeah. The one you just played was Golden Girls. The one before that.
Yeah. Oh, this one?
Yeah, that's Golden Girls.
That's amazing. That is beyond incredible. That's really something.
It's funny that to be
there was one that tripped you up a little bit.
Yeah, Good Times.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that you knew the answer. Yeah.
That's what it is, John.
That's exactly.
I memorized them from last time.
That's
right. I got them all down. No, I got with the piano. It's hard because Blossom, but then I thought it through and Blossom. If you played the start of Blossom, you could give me one note because it's don't know about the future. That's anybody's guess. Ain't no good reason for being all depressed. I know the words to the Blossom theme song.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've seen Blossom more than 5 times. There is something about sitcoms that when they used to have theme songs that for some reason in whatever part of my brain can remember no one's name resonates.
Well, I never saw 227. I don't. The theme song I know a little bit, but the
promo for it.
227 is a comedy
with Marla Gibbs and her family. Yeah, that was in Detroit. That was Detroit.
Yeah, not a sitcom, by the way.
I'm not sure 227 was syndicated in Boston. It seems like they don't have the
yeah,
same
maybe not.
demographics that Detroit did. I don't know if a black sitcom would have been syndicated in Boston back when local affiliates
It
did.
was.
Oh, it was?
It was.
Oh.
We got 227 here.
I was
Yes.
feeling like I was from a very integrated place, and now here I am. Oh, that's a different story. I can do this all day. As long as there's sitcoms. I didn't know the Rockford Files.
Yeah, that's not a sitcom.
No.
Now the world don't move
To the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two. They got nothing but the genes, but they got.
different strokes.
And it's obvious.
Different strokes.
Eight ball.
Did you know? I don't know if you got this.
That's Rockford Files, and I just remember it because it's the one I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
It's the best theme song of all time.
I agree.
For any show, but I wasn't alive when that was on, and it wasn't in syndication. The only reason I know the theme song at all is Hardy and I both happened to have an album of 80 or 70s theme song themes.
Right.
Like it was one of the 3 albums I had when I was like 4, and I had that and Flash Gordon, and then my babysitter gave me a crate of records because she became a punk rocker, and she gave me all her heavy metal albums because she was over it. So I was super into metal.
Somebody had ideas for the show while we were out. One of them is to revamp Bird Blast, but have people shoot Wallach with a potato gun. So it's not Burt Blast, it's Bird Blast. But Wallach won't be here either.
No.
It's 2 Jerky Boys. One of the Jerky Boys
Hit me right in the effing eye.
One of the Jerky Boys albums came with a CD-ROM that you could put in your computer, and there was a potato gun game where you put it in Al Torres. You shot him at him. That's absolutely true.
Tors.
Yeah, Torres.
That's right.
Right.
I didn't know that. That's you could pop it in your computer. You said.
It was actually really funny. I
That's
mean, it was
hilarious.
funny once, but yeah, you had it was like Defender or like that old game, Space Invaders. Space Invaders.
Yeah.
And you had a potato gun, and he knew Jack Torres came, and you tried to hit him with the potato gun.
I have an email. I will share it if you would
Oh,
like
you're
me to share it.
participating in the show.
I'm participating. I've received this email from Jeremy. This is in reference to yesterday's stack. Hardy was talking about how Shannon Elizabeth is launching an OnlyFans. And Jeremy said, 12, whenever Fred says he doesn't do OnlyFans, please chime in and bust his balls on not supporting small business and independent creators, giving more money to big porn and not supporting the small creators, and all the free sites are making money and ad revenue that doesn't get to the performers. Such a shame. I find this very on brand for you. So yes, I will be doing that to you moving forward.
Yeah, I think that as we age, all of us, we do not consume porn the way we did. We were very fortunate to grow up in an era where there wasn't all the porn ever made at your fingertips wherever you are. I don't know if that's the best thing for society, but nonetheless, that's out of my control. But OnlyFans, and if you do it, like that's great. But it to me, and believe me, I'm above no one. But the idea of like wanting to talk to the object of your desire, it seems sort of sad. Like I just like porn is to be used and then disposed of.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't really need to. Now, if you wanted to sleep with a porn star and they were like in town and you wanted to make, I think paying to sleep with a prostitute that's a porn star is less sad than being on OnlyFans. I've done neither. But like, I know that porn stars escort, and for whatever reason, I think, paying for a night with a porn star, at least you're having sex with them. In like experiencing them,
right? As opposed to just having this, completely false artificial relationship with them.
And I heard that the big ones, like the 4 accounts that actually make money, probably are like AI, but there's no way they can get back to that many people.
Yeah.
Which is even sadder.
Not Gary.
Might as well just talk to your phone.
Not Gary Tanguay has an idea.
Yeah.
Getaway day riff here.
Yeah, let's do it. Vacay.
As a ginger...
Sell your appliances and get the master suite.
As a ginger-tinged student of the world, and having taken notes from Freddie T., young Isaac felt he was ready for anything. Nearing the end of his most recent internship, The burgeoning phenom is thrust into the spotlight like a flag into the hole on your local golf course. Our hero stands frozen between the camera and green screen while the producer loudly whispers, "You're on!" What they didn't know was Isaac was having PTSD after a very aggressive changing room experience with a well-known and voluptuous detective, Rocky Suarez. Mrs. Lloyd.
All right, end the story. All right, cans are bouncing, murders are happening. End of story. You make something out of it. I'm not Poindexter.
But he's Cindy Brady'd by going on camera, and he's unable to speak because he's flashing back to what happened to him in the green room moments before.
If anything, he'd be relaxed. Rewrite. Guy's freaking out.
Good.
Guy's freaking out on camera, right? It's the biggest thing. President's watching. He can't get it out. So what do? We police academy, this son of a bitch. Rocky Suarez comes from her assistant producer's role and starts servicing young Isaac. Then he relaxes and he becomes a sensation. World saved. End of story. Fill in the gaps. Get Poindexter with the glasses to do it.
Mrs. Lloyd.
I paint in broad strokes, baby. It's up to the Poindexters to fill in the gaps.
All right, that's all I got. Unless we're gonna go down the Blind Scott rabbit hole.
No, let's not. I don't want to encourage that. Blind Scott, maybe take this time this week to kind of decompress and not email so much because I can't, even if I wanted to. Blind Scott, who's on hold, of course. I could not read them. I couldn't. It's too much of my time. And I don't say that lightly. I'm someone who plays fantasy football, which is a complete waste of time. But and I'm on my phone all the time. But I can't be reading literally 100 Blind Scott emails a day. That's not good for me. It's not good for Blind Scott. It's not good for anybody. All right, we'll be back, and then we'll end things, and then we'll be on our way to our various vacations. John being the most exotic of all, 20 miles outside of the city of Philadelphia.
West.
Oh, yeah, so for away from the water. I don't think you could go 20 miles east. You'd be in the middle of the water.
Yes. All
right. Nowhere you'd want to be. Far away from anything that you'd want to be at. All right, we'll be right back.
Essentials. Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
Afternoon, evening at the earliest.
Can I wear my medal well into the next day?
Even the packets of seeds cost you something.
Sure they would.
Well, can't he go out at night and collect them under the cover of darkness
Like
like
I
a
go to the
greedy?
apple orchards.
You know, Adam, he's like a
Sneaking around.
graffiti. He's like a graffiti
That's
guy.
right,
like
but
he,
for apples.
he hides like in the weeds, and then when the orchard closes down, he goes and grabs all the apples.
Sneaking around.
Now, this does have to do with flowers and outdoors, but there are two things about this. It's going to be a hard no from Adam 12. Tulip Mania.
Well, that's every day.
This is
There's only one inoculation. Unless you're inoculated, you're going to get tulip fever.
the fourth annual Tulip Mania features 75,000 blooms on display in Wellesley.
Ooh.
12 doesn't like that. And there is an admission. Now, the MHS members receive discounts and first access. If you wait long enough, it is free, but I have a feeling you're going to be out on this.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Do you hate Wellesley more than Newton? I would imagine you do.
No, Newton's fine. Newton's got some fine working class neighborhoods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Adam, how about the fifth annual Marathon Daffodil Dash?
You know, a lot of flowers this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's
is
springtime, you turkey.
This is also tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the track at Suffolk Downs.
Oh, what a beautiful setting.
Celebrate Marathon Weekend.
And all the corpses of dead dogs.
That thing says marathon like driving near the airport.
You know what really helps
With the kids.
flowers to grow is the burial of a dog.
With the kids on a race on this historic racetrack.
All these flowers got me thinking like
seasonal allergies.
I don't know, man.
If you fly into West Palm Beach Airport, directly next to the airport, you can't miss it. You were leaving the parking lot. There is a dog track. They're still in existence.
Wow. All right. Finally, I think this is something that we can all sign off
It
on.
looks like a Greyhound station, like because of the logo and everything and the quality of the building. It looks
Yeah.
like a downtown Greyhound station.
A free outdoor meditation in the Boston Public Garden.
Dharma Punks?
This is tonight, 6:30 to 7:15 p.m. Take a break from the week, enjoy the fresh air, and discover simple techniques to feel calmer, think more clearly, and reconnect with a sense of ease.
Fred's going to let me borrow his what is it?
Yeah,
TM book,
you
right?
won't pay for the mantra, so why don't you go to this thing and learn how to meditate for free?
Perhaps. I need a free Tai Chi class. If anyone has a lead on that, let me know. I'd like to get back into taking Tai Chi.
There's no way you've done Tai Chi.
Oh, absolutely I did. I took it in Albuquerque, New Mexico. In fact, I think I've told you about it, Hardy. You were like, yeah, I know that place. I wouldn't go near that
There's
place.
no way that you did Tai Chi.
I absolutely did. I've taken a free class at the YMCA as well.
What was the average age of the people in the Tai Chi class?
Okay, so the one at the Y I took probably 10-ish, 15 years ago, and I would have been in my mid-30s. There was no one else in there under the age of 65.
I was going to say, it probably makes my pickleball games look like daycare.
Yeah.
Compared to the average age in a Tai Chi class.
Well, my knowledge of Tai Chi is that it is something for the elderly. That
no,
it's
anybody
like,
can practice it.
I know.
It's great as you.
Well, yeah, quite literally anyone could do it. But yes. But I thought it was only beneficial for those who could not do real exercise.
Elderly and infirmed.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I actually was ignorant to that. I hope I don't get in trouble with the Tai Chi community.
I don't think so. They're going to reach out to me. And
A
let me know.
rabid bunch.
I can take a.
Because let them know, Adam, it was my own ignorance. It was
I will.
not malicious.
I will let them
My
know.
thought of
Yes.
it only being for the elderly.
Of course.
All right, everyone, I would hate to leave on that note. Everyone, have a great week. We're not
Enjoy
missing
your
much.
weekend.
Just the playoffs for both sports
We're
and
so
the
outta here.
and the draft. We're missing a lot. I apologize, Rick, and to Jim. But it is the way the calendar falls.
Stay tuned for a locked-in Scott Zolak today. Full 4 hours, completely focused.
NBC Sports Boston. You can see him eat runny eggs and zone out. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you in 9 days unless something